no shortage of headlines to discuss today, just for the day and also for the week ahead, because we've got quite a lot to talk about. In the meantime, let's take a look at this NASDAQ chart. This is a 4-weekly chart, monthly chart. Nice push to the upside with only a couple more trading days left in the month of April 2026. And as I mentioned, lots that is going to be happening within those days. We get earnings from 5 of the Mag 7 plays. 4 of them are going to come on Wednesday, another one on Thursday, and news for a lot of those individual names also coming out today as well to digest. Then on Wednesday, we're going to get the FOMC meeting, I believe our final with Fed Chair Jerome Powell. So another thing to keep an eye on, though, the outcome of that likely will involve rates being held in place. Oil also in focus, more geopolitical headlines to discuss, including the fact that looks like we didn't quite get that negotiation meeting on Saturday in Pakistan that we were thinking we were going to get. Tons of headlines, lots to discuss. How are you doing today, Sharif? How was your weekend?
I'm good, Adair. Thank you. It was very good. Too short as always. Good morning, guys. There's a whole lot to talk about, as Adair mentioned. Oil in focus as Middle Eastern tensions continue to brew their Meta. Also, very interesting story. China, the regulator there, looking to block Manus, the acquisition of Manus. That obviously hurts Meta's pursuit of agentic AI and Qualcomm. Speaking of AI, what a tie-up between Qualcomm and OpenAI. Qualcomm for the second day in a row, gapping up to the tune of 10% plus, and Google looking at opening up a campus in South Korea, and NEO tying the knot here with onsemi for some autonomous vehicle driving. There's no shortage of headlines, Adair, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk a little bit, I think, about this Fed meeting because we might not get the chance later in the morning. I know you mentioned a couple days ago, Sharif, you thought there could be some surprise coming from Fed Chair Powell as he leaves. Do you think we get that later in interviews, or do you think he actually says something to shock us at the press conference?
That's a great question, Adair. I mean, it's really hard to know exactly how he's going to go out. As you mentioned, though, you know, he has been very, very reserved in some of his responses. It's going to be interesting. The investigation into him is over, being kiboshed last week. That opens the door, of course, to his successor, Kevin Warsh, coming in. And we'll have to see Tom Tillis pulling his reservations this morning as a result of the end of the investigation.
Although we do have to keep in mind, we had Janine Pirro, U.S. Attorney, saying that at any moment they can reopen that probe. So this Powell thing could still be on watch. I do have to pull up Amazon here as well, because I am seeing a story on this one. Business Insider reporting that they're pushing their stores engineering team deeper into AI. Not a massive headline, but point remains, guys, tons to look at. So what are you looking at today? Joe and Sean, how are you two doing? How was your weekend?
What's going on? Yeah, we're here with Joe.
Let's go.
Good to see you, Joe.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the first time for everything. You don't have a coffee yet, I noticed.
Yeah, no, we'll wait a little bit.
We'll have to get with Randy going on here.
Well,
we were just saying what a gorgeous weekend it's been, and what a great day it is today.
Yeah.
The weather is finally popping, and you were out and about in the city.
Out and about, man.
Kensington Market. What did you get anything at Kensington Market? Cheese?
No, just walking around. I mean, typically, like, so what I've noticed now is a lot of it is taco. It's like a lot of taco shops, taqueritos. Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's not too bad.
If you want to go for some taste testing, you go there and grab a taco here, there. So we'll do that another time.
I had a couple tacos there in Mexico. You know, they had some tequila testing. Tasting around in Mexico.
That was testing.
That was
you got
testing and tasting.
Yeah, you got
testing and tasting. Man. And then we had some crazy hockey over the weekend.
Yeah, you were saying.
Not too much about our audience isn't too interested in hockey, but
that's all right.
And then we come
Americans,
back.
They love sports.
Yeah, and then we come back to. Was no major fights this weekend? Was there? No.
Nothing really. No.
Okay. Yeah, you're my guy
not for
that
a couple
one.
of weeks. Yeah.
NASDAQ heading down a little bit right now. We'll have to see what's going on here. But yeah, it's good to have Joe and Neil taking the day off. And I guess you're doing the whole day again.
Doing the whole day,
boy. That new contract is really starting to kick in right now for you.
Right?
I like it.
Yeah, that's why I had to go in over the weekend, lock in my days off. You know, like, hey, man,
I saw you took that way. You took a couple days off here in December over here?
Yeah, we got to get pre-planned ahead. You know,
You planning on going anywhere?
Yeah, I'm planning.
Oh, nice.
We don't know where, but
I got the vacation bug a little bit now, but now my next thing is into Minnesota for hockey. Now I'm checking all these flights out all the time. You know what? You actually told me something a couple weeks ago that was interesting, and now I'm thinking about switching it over. The credit card that I have just gives me like percentage.
You, dude.
No, but it's pretty good though. It's like 1 to 2% on cash back.
Yeah.
So, but I was doing the taxes.
Yeah.
And I realized how much we're spending on our credit
done.
card there. And it's fine. I put everything on there. But it's like maybe we need to get a little bit more points. And then now that I'm traveling, I'm thinking like, hey, maybe get one of these travel visa or Amex.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
More points.
Yeah,
You know the problem with American Express is it's not accepted at as many places as Visa.
Visa is exactly.
So it's actually looking like we do like a lot of the shopping at Loblaws and things like that. Even Walmart, they don't accept American Express.
Yeah.
I think you always got to have a Visa.
That's why I got my Visa. I've had the same one essentially from. I switched it to the cashback, but I'm like, okay, I'm not spending. Yeah. This was like years ago.
Oh, okay.
But I'm like, I'm not spending enough. Essentially, I'm like, what am I going to do with this couple of pennies here and there? And then I put it back to the Aero plan, and sure enough,
yeah, you like the Aero plan.
Yeah, I like the Aero
plan. I think it's the more flights I start booking. Flights are not cheap anymore.
No, they're not. They're not.
Especially with this little gas tax happening.
Yeah.
Right here, people go to Minnesota. Yeah, what's up? Oh, Mike P. DeRider. Which one do we got on here? Is he talking to himself or talking to us over here today? Shout out to Mike. That's the ongoing joke around here. Great to have everybody back.
Yeah.
In the chat. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We come in today. Tesla down 0.41.
Yeah.
Here right now a little bit. I was just looking through some of our watch lists going on today. NVIDIA, Qualcomm. Wow, what a deal there with Qualcomm and OpenAI. I mean, Qualcomm gets 14% today. They had double-digit growth there. Move on Friday.
What's up, Randy?
Yes, he's got the turbo going on today. I've never seen that shirt yet, my guy. How's it going? We're in a great mood today because Happy Mondays for sure. We were out. The voice is now going to be cracked for a very long time, for a while, because baseball's back.
Okay.
So we did.
And you're coaching still, right?
Yeah, so coaching 2 teams, and yesterday we had two different things going on there, so a lot of yelling and screaming. But, it's very, very good. Did you say coffee, Randy? That'd be great. Thanks, man.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we were out on the ballpark on the diamond yesterday. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Jay's pulling out a W in the series there.
Jay's finally starting to get going a little bit there.
Starting to wake up a bit.
Boston fired Cora, which is their manager, for over a decade, and they got rid of him.
Oh, really?
So he won a World Series with them back in 2018.
And the Mets lost how many straight did they lose? Like 10, 11?
They were 10. I don't know if it got any worse.
And then they broke. No, I'm pretty sure they snapped it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, AMD still hot. You're still positive here today. I'm looking at a couple of other names. We got the overall market going to be in play. Just be cautious considering. Obviously, we have USO, some more headlines, so a little bit more headline sensitivity kicking in. But what I was thinking about over the weekend is like, what can I potentially buy?
I know. What are we going to buy?
And there's just so many things extended. But this is what I'm thinking here, Sean. Is we had AMD, we've had Marvell, and Broadcom make these big, substantial moves. Is it time that we start to rotate into maybe some NVDA? And I think we're going to buy a little bit more. I have been.
You want to rotate into all-time highs?
I think, well, the thing is, think about how long we've been consolidating for. And then we haven't even broke that previous all-time high. So I think if we're going to make that push and continue to climb, I think that's going to be the name that I'm going to be looking at moving forward.
I just get a little nervous about it because where we are with that stock.
Yeah.
But, and it's nice to see that it's finally breaking out. I think you might be onto something there. We're taking out that 211.20. Oh no, it was 212 and change.
Yeah, it's like 212. Yeah, it's like.
I'm going to get that exactly off eSignal again. It was back in October, wasn't it, where we had that all-time. Whoops, get down there. Yeah, you're the one complaining about my mouse before. Yeah, 212.19. We have it back there on October 28th or 29th. Yeah. Right there. So I think we probably hit that even before the market opens today, right? You're 75 cents away from a brand new all-time high there for NVIDIA, let alone a closing all-time high. We already made that on Friday. So we'll see if NVIDIA can get going. Qualcomm's to deal with OpenAI there, so that's a nice move. The name that I thought maybe you were going to go to would be Apple, just because it's been the one falling down over the last couple of days, right?
Yeah.
And today you're down another 1.5%, even getting a little lower here on Apple as we get a little nervous hands with their report coming on Thursday. This is your Super Bowl of earnings this week. Oh, plus, by the way, I was actually listening to Bloomberg Radio on the way in, and I forgot about this. Fed is in 2 days.
Yeah, Fed 2 days.
So 2 days, 5 hours, Joe, and 51 minutes and 2 seconds right now. But I have some bad news for people.
Oh, no.
If you're wondering about volatility or uncertainty, then in 2 days is not your day, because we have 100% chance of absolutely nothing happening other than I believe right there, this is Powell's last, I think. So
that is generally going to be the case unless we get some kind of delay with Kevin Warsh's confirmation, which as of this point we're very unlikely to get.
Yeah, so that'll be it. So we'll see some parting comments from the big man himself. But I mean, I think that everybody who's been, besides Donald Trump, I think Donald Trump probably would admit that the Fed's been doing a pretty decent job, because he's going to go out at a stock market all-time highs. So there goes the NASDAQ going out there right here. One that's been struggling a little bit has been the Dow Jones. I mean, we've seen some sort of give back. There it is, the DIA in some of the healthcare names, and then obviously energy's pulled back a little bit. I mean, energy's going a little higher today, but you know, the Dow and the diamonds are going to be not at all-time highs. I'm wondering if we pick something. That might be something, Joe. Get into some of the DOWGAs over there.
You had that on your pick for last year.
Yeah, that was last year. Yeah, and then this year I thought the NASDAQ would underperform this year. I mean, we talked about that, underperform expectations.
So did I.
It seems like it's not doing that at all. We were right a couple weeks ago. About the NASDAQ. And then now, the NASDAQ is straight fire.
It's straight
fire. It
fire.
was up 1.6% again on Friday. So.
But the thing is, though, Sean, there's still a lot of year left, right? Like, and you know how right? There's still a lot.
You a little cold?
Yeah, it's a little chilly in here, as a typical.
These guys told me that your nickname is Joey Chivers.
Joey Chills.
No, but because you're always...
I don't know if I'm shivering, no. But
I'm going to say, this is what I heard.
It's always like chilly, yeah.
But would you prefer to be a little chillier or a little warmer?
Oh, what kind of question is that, brother?
I thought it was a decent one.
Oh, if you don't mind, brother, if you don't mind.
I'll take espresso too,
I'll take an espresso, let's fire it up.
I'm trying to...
Dude, yesterday, so Selena's all warm yesterday, right? She's in like her...
But you still didn't answer the question, like you'd rather be warmer.
1,000%. There's no debate.
Okay.
There's no debate. I would rather be sweating.
There's about to be a debate when I put up a poll.
Put the poll up. I would rather be sweating, and I thrive in the heat.
Yeah. No, I mean...
Going on those runs is where I thrive.
Right. Yeah, and you're not...
It's like 27, 28.
I think it would be overwhelming. People would be more into being warmer.
You think so? Oh yeah. I don't think it's close.
It's those. Yeah, you'd want to be a little warmer than a little cooler. I think.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me of. Oh man.
But
when is the United States taking over Greenland? I mean, the funny.
Yeah.
It's
soon, man.
I was thinking because people were like, it's cold in Greenland, but it's warm in Iceland.
Yeah. Is that what they got going on there?
I don't know. I was just thinking about that. Oh, that was crazy. But did you see the state the correspondence dinner? They had that guy running through there.
The guy was like...
I was at a 50th birthday party on Saturday night. All of a sudden I get something on my...
Kirk was there, obviously, too.
A lot of people were there. And apparently they stopped that guy, in the tracks there.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump goes, well, you have to be something special to try to get assassinated.
I appreciate you, my brother.
All right, so here we go. All right, let's go back over to the desk. You guys prefer warm or like slightly warm or slightly chilly a little bit up on the desk?
I mean, I'm from Winnipeg, so I like it nice and cool. If it is too hot, I do not function. Like, it's not even I don't like it, I just don't function. What about you, Sharif?
I like the heat. I just don't like the humidity. So give me a little heat, maybe like the high teens, low 20s. Just keep the humidity out of there, Dara.
Yeah, the lack of humidity certainly would be preferred. Really quickly, we're going to talk about AAPL, of course, in relation to this Qualcomm story. But MSTR, I want to mention, shocker, Michael Saylor buying more Bitcoin. Sharif, 3,273 Bitcoin purchased here, aggregate purchase price coming in at $255 million. That brings our total holdings to just above 800,000. So more Bitcoin for our friend Saylor. Let's talk, though, about AAPL, because a couple different headlines here, but the biggest, again, related to that Qualcomm story.
Yeah, absolutely. Qualcomm and OpenAI apparently in talks to develop a new smartphone. That is, of course, after Johnny Ives joined OpenAI about a couple of years ago, and I think late 24. So something for Apple to be concerned with here. Separately, Bernstein also maintaining Apple with an outperform rating and a $340 price target. Likewise with Evercore ISI maintaining that outperform rating and a $330 price target. And then shipments of foreign branded phones, including Apple iPhones within China, are up 78.2% year over year, about 3.36 million handsets sold in March. Those are foreign made, Dara. So good to see there, but no good reaction for Apple stock on the back of that OpenAI headline this morning.
Do you think this is going to be like a long-term risk for AAPL? Do you think they're going to be able to maybe overcome this once they get their iPhone update? Like, what's with the Siri?
Let's see what the OpenAI has to offer. Right now, it's an enigma. We have no idea off which to base our opinion.
Yeah, fair point. What do you guys think about this story and this stock today?
I mean, that's sort of where we went to at the beginning when I was talking about, what stock might be worth something today. To go long. I mean, I don't know if it's long today, but something to maybe pick up as Joe was talking about. Oh, here's my little Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin doing? 77.8. Okay. That what Apple was maybe doing is trying to pick up some sort of a value because it's the one that's not breaking through its highs right now. We have so many other names that are, especially in the tech space. I mean, I love the Amazon story. I think Amazon That down there at 200, I think was a good gift of when we based out there. And I'd like to see Apple come back in a little bit here. I know when Neil, this broke through the 200 period, I believe he picked something up around that 250 area. That was a good spot. And I think if we can come back, I mean, it's not too far away from that. I think if we can come back into there, that'd be a decent story. But yeah, competition reigns supreme right here. The analyst said that business remains strong in March with global sales rising 13%, unit sales increasing 10%. First quarter iPhone revenue is expected to grow 15%. These are all notes from our watch list. And by the way, make sure you do. I'm going to show it to you guys in a second here. So I'm not just, come on, get over here. That I'm not just reading random stuff over here. But here we go, 15% robust demand. Everything's going good. They're supposed to post quarterly earnings Thursday, April 30th. But it's just this, following reports of an impending, and I think Sharif hit it on the head there too, and saying that, like, we don't really know what all of this is going to mean for Apple. I mean, I thought that there was going to be at one point a Tesla phone.
Yeah.
You know, there was, you know, Samsung's come out with great technology as well, and, you know, duplicating and overpassing, and, you know, the iPhone's not necessarily the most shiny object in the store anymore when you go there, right? I mean,
the laptops.
We all, I mean, I think pretty much all of us here besides Neil, Brendan switched back. You know, we're all kind of iPhone people, but at the end of
Brendan switched off iPhone again?
Yeah, he got it for like 2 weeks or something.
And then he got rid of it?
Yeah, and then he just said, he's had enough. Yeah, no, so I think Apple's been through worse than this, but I do think it's a little bit of a scare. Yeah. I mean, remember when Google, when they were like, oh my God, OpenAI is doing a browser.
Yeah.
You know, and Google got smashed.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, Google's now smashing, you know, and it's just like, it's part of the ebbs and flows of these technology businesses. And, you know, we always think about what names are top now that may not be top in 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, Apple's sort of driven that whole move all the way up. They've always been.
But do we believe that this product, like we understand that Johnny Ives working with Sam Altman, they're going to produce this phone by 2028, apparently, on mass production. But we talk about integration into ecosystems. Is it going to be, like, you're going to need a product that's going to essentially hit it out of the park to sway people and get them away from something they're heavily integrated into, right? So I don't know, can you pull people out of the iPhone ecosystem, really?
No, I mean, I don't think they can't pull me out. I mean, I think there's been, my whole family, now even my kids all have iPhones, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
So we have 5 of us, all with iPhones, all connected to the cloud, all easy to track. But I mean, I know this technology exists everywhere. It's just, until there's a problem, I'm getting a little jealous of that.
Or until there's something that's significantly better. Right?
How's that espresso?
It's good.
I know.
It's good. I typically sip them. I don't.
I mentioned to Randy I wanted one over here. I'm gonna have to message this guy over here.
That's all right.
Any earnings this week? Oh yeah, here we go. CRML to acquire European lithium. So we'll have to check out that. 835 million. Isn't too big there. What's up, Pops Mafia? There in the chat wants to know here. Maybe if I can find.
Wants to know if there's an after show.
Yeah, here, I'm gonna post this up. We're gonna send some questions.
Absolutely.
There it is. Hey, that made a cha-ching song, but it wasn't. Pops Mafia got away with no super chat in the cha-ching song there.
There you go.
I believe we're going to go on earnings shows this week. Yeah, I mean, we'll double check it all, but Wednesday's an absolute monster day, right? So we got Wednesday, we got Thursday, and I think we got some Robinhood action. Actually, Adara posted up, you know, Adara's got everything going, so I don't even.
Yeah,
if you go to TTV Research, you're just going to lose yourself in tons and tons of information.
Yeah.
But right here, this is
that Wednesday.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, so the one day we're not having a show for sure is Wednesday.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm just going to get this off the screen here so it doesn't block what's happening on these days. See ya, Pops Mafia. But thanks for asking us. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly who will be here on these days, but I believe we will be having an earnings after show. And Joe's welcome to stay with us, of course. Amazon, but you're working too far, man. Go home. Actually, go home at 4. Right. Joe, do not stay with us
let you guys
at 4 o'clock. Well, look at this one. Google.
Amazon.
Give me one that you're most excited out of these 4.
Google.
Okay, I'm going to go with Amazon over there. I think the story about Meta slashing some jobs last week, the 10%, I think that's going to be interesting to see what winds up happening there with Meta. And then they lost that Manus deal while Chinese regulators coming in and saying potentially no moss on that one. This is a very interesting name too. Bloom Energy has been really on fire, right? They can turn sort of any of these fossil fuels and all this kind of stuff right into energy immediately. Their technology is hot fire over there apparently, and the stock will show that to you every day as well. Robinhood, I know that's a name that you're familiar with, and we like to talk about there as well. That's coming, and then on Thursday's relatively light, but we do have Apple. Apple's always at 4:30, so that should be interesting, or somewhere around there. I think Reddit is a little undercover gem as well. We can look at that, and then Oh, Rivian, man. I don't know when these deliveries are coming to Canada, but we're excited for some Rivian action in my household if we can ever get that. And then a name that I know Sharif's interested in, and we all sort of are as well, Caterpillar is a big name there as well. And one of the names that Adara started trading early on in her career, Eli Lilly.
Sharif's not in Bloom Energy or anything along those lines.
Bloom Energy's been awesome. I mean, congratulations for that one. No, Sharif's not in that. You know what had a good report today, actually, was Verizon. Verizon net subs up 55 million, or 55,000. 55 million would be huge. 55,000 subs that they grabbed last quarter that the street was not expecting. So they were up 4% when I looked. Now they're up 3.5% a little bit as well. So Verizon trying to get some of that dividend if you want to separate a little bit from the
options here
space as well. Oh, you got to get out of here.
Yeah, I got to head over to the big screen.
That was fun.
My boy.
All right, Joe's going to get over to the big screen and get ready for some option talk right there. And we're excited to have Michael. I think we should have Michael. I should never say that unless we check the board out there. But some talk there coming today as well. At the end of the month, so we're getting ready for such a big month wrap up there, as it's been a successful one for many of those names. Just to Joe's point about what we're trying to buy right now, maybe it is NVIDIA finally starting to break out of that malaise, right? I mean, it's just been such a hot 2-3 weeks for everything in the space, and there goes NVIDIA right now, taking out those highs. So we're going to see if we can hold over this 212.19 area that is the e-signal reported all-time high. So we'll see if we can get to that. I think we get to that even before the market opens. So, here we go again with another big day ahead of us. So there we go, Adara. A little bit of talk about some of the big tech names. All started off with Apple, and they're going to be excited. They're normally at 4:30, I believe, right, Adara?
On the dot. On the dot, usually 4:30 day. I've never seen them be late. They're much like NVIDIA used to be with that 4:20 time that we know last time NVIDIA was kind of late on their report. But Apple, probably the most punctual of the Mag 7s. I actually have this fun little infographic here, as we love to do at TTV Research. This is a look in order, at least estimate times, of all of the 5 Mag 7 names, 4 of which are reporting on Wednesday: Amazon, Meta, Google, Microsoft, and then the last of which, again, Apple. End of the earnings session, 4:30 p.m. after SanDisk on Thursday, April 30th. Now, it's also worth noting, guys, we're going to get, again, SanDisk on that day. You're going to get Carvana on Wednesday. It's just a glut of earnings names. So if you are, enjoying this, if you have any ideas for stuff that either you want to see or what you think is going to be the best earnings name of the week, drop what your favorite ticker is that you are most excited for earnings in this chat. We're going to go to Joe for options in a bit, but Sharif, first, let's talk Verizon, because VZ, probably our biggest earnings name of this morning in terms of market reaction, and maybe some of these numbers here too.
Yeah, this is missed on revenue, and usually when you miss on EP or you beat on EPS and you miss on revenue, it's because you had you didn't really have a lot of promotions, and that's exactly what happened here. So they basically said that they missed on revenue because they didn't have as many promotional sales for their handsets, nor did they have a lot of promotion for their prepaid plans, and so that's maybe why they miss about $400 million on revenue. They say, look, our turnaround, the CEO, Dan Schulman, said the company's turnaround is gaining momentum, though, and they're beginning to reclaim their market leadership. They added about, I believe, 700,000 or so post-paid subscribers, which is one of their best prints in a couple of years. So we'll have to see. Classic telecom setup, though, guys.
Yeah, we get TMUS, I believe, later this week, too. So this is just the first. I mean, telecom, not a massive sector, but do you have any thoughts on this stock or this look right now, Sean?
They're starting to beat expectations. Obviously, they have some promotions going on there. We just talked about switching over into new phones, and sometimes they get a nice little boost because of that. I mean, carrier discounts are something. Before I went over to Joe, I wanted just to see what Verizon's dividend was, because I thought it was like 4 or 5%, if not a little bit higher at these points. Yeah, there it is right there. Look at this, 6%. Right there for a dividend right now. So, to hold your money into now what was a decent report for Verizon, plus you're going to get that 6%. I think it's, you never want to chase yield, because when you're chasing yield and stuff like this happens and you're like, oh man, what have we done? But you're bouncing pretty cleanly off this 200 period. So sure, we don't get there exactly. But remember, some of these lines that we draw, they're just support and resistance areas. So if it doesn't get into there, that's pretty good, right? So you come in, you bounce off of it, now you're starting to go higher. I think we got to like Verizon around here. And these stocks are boring. We understand what they are. That's why they pay that dividend, right? reinvesting it back into shareholder wealth and equity here by giving you that dividend and divesting some of that cash out. So I think that's a good move if you are looking to, you know, get a little bit of yield there and sort of diversify your portfolio a bit. Verizon seems to be a good little look there. AT&T, I'm not, actually I have to look up, I'm not even sure when all these reports are coming through, but you know, a lot of these charts are looking very, very similar. Here's an AT&T chart. Again, a little bit of a move down, now a bounce higher. If they can get a good report as well, then we can break back through the 200 period moving average. The fact that Verizon bounced off of it rather than hovering underneath of it makes me like Verizon a little bit better. So just out of those ones, but hey, the real winner, man, if you're gonna chase what's been happening, T-Mobile, I mean, has been, and I haven't looked at a chart of this in a minute, but obviously it's lower now that I say that. But this has been really hot fire over the last little while, starting to get going. You know, high of 260, back into 180 right now, trying to bounce off of this 180 level. We'll see if T-Mobile can get working out as well. Actually, I guess it's not. I thought T-Mobile was doing a lot better than they were, but now in here into 220, we're coming through. I should be working now, Andre. I did hear Adara, so I'm not sure why I'm not hearing you. But all right, Joe is ready to rock and roll now over there at the big screen with his options action.
Welcome. Let's take a look at some of the options activity from last week. Some interesting names. The first one on the list here is NVDA, and we're going to be looking at this 215 strike price here. That's going to be an all-time high if we have the ability to reach it. Now, as for some of the metrics, we have open interest sitting around 32,800 and volume with 36,700 contracts open and closed on Friday session. I mean, that's not a lot. We've seen 100,000, almost 150,000, even upwards to 200,000 contracts throughout the strike prices on NVDA, but that's not the case. So this supply, I have a feeling we can get absorbed. We also have a technical potential breakout here with a previous pivot around that 212 marker, and then also a resistance zone that has been breached. But as for our Greeks, guys, these contracts are still relatively expensive. We're looking at $4.65 on the ask if you're a purchaser, and if you're looking to write, you have $4.60 on the bid. So you'll be collecting $460 on that front. But Delta, relatively cool considering, right? We're still sitting around 38, slightly elevated at the money IV with a slight uptick, but this Delta, considering we're out of the money, we'll see that a little bit cooler. Now, as you climb and approach higher to the strike price, you'll see that start to increase. Now, as for your gamma exposure, you're sitting on $2, nothing substantial there, and once again, you're at the money IV sitting at 37%. Moving forward, let's take a look at AMD. Now, we're going to be going extremely out of the money here, guys. We're going to be looking at this $450 strike price, but also our expiration cycle. So this is going to be May 18th, all right? May 18th, but one thing that I want us to focus on before we get into open interest and volume is the appreciation within this specific contract. 1,400% in this expiration cycle, the 450 call expiring May 18th, grew substantially, and that's going to be due to the breakout that we've seen over the past week. Now, as for the bid and the ask, it's going to be expensive here. You're looking at $900 there and 10 cents and $855 if you're going to be looking to collect. Now, one thing that I would really want us to focus on, I was going through multiple expiration cycles, and this was the most substantial size that I've seen through the next month and a bit, all right? $450, you're going to see a lot of activity throughout this week, but it's almost 35% away from where we're currently trading at. So there's something going on. We're going to continue to monitor this cycle and see what we got going throughout the strikes. But $450 was a standout number. Once again, open interest sitting at 16,700 with 7,130 contracts open and closed. You're at the money IB with a slight uptick, 64.2%. And considering it's so far out of the money, that's still relatively high delta. That just shows you how much we're appreciating in the volatility range that we've been experiencing over the past couple of days within AMD. Your gamma exposure, almost none there, guys, considering we're far away from the money and we have a further expiration cycle. But we're going to keep our eyes out on AMD for the next little while to see what the derivatives market is telling us about this specific name. Let's send it back to Sean.
Back to me already, okay. Yeah, look, everybody, I mean, I think that AMD call, it's Neil laments over this every day, it seems like, at least when I saw him on Friday. Actually, I was only here Friday. And it was just the fact that he had sold the AMD, as I think probably a lot of people did, and just believed a little bit more in NVIDIA. And it's all of a sudden, you know, you see this is almost up 20 straight days or so there with Advanced Micro Devices, and it just keeps on chugging along. And who would have thought that? I mean, the PE doesn't mean everything when you're talking about stocks, because AMD's PE is well through the roof right now. But, you know, as more and more deals come in, we get that deal with Qualcomm now and OpenAI, and there goes AMD breaking through this 260 marker, and it's just like up and away. And who knows when that next little move will actually pull back in. Maybe it's today, right? I mean, down 0.2%. AMD's report is going to come on the date, because I don't see it on our little marker there, Tuesday, May the 5th. So in 8 days, we're going to be getting some Advanced Micro Devices. And as you can see right there, the PE of, maybe if I zoom in a little bit, maybe you'll actually be able to see it, 133, current PE, forward PE 51. When you compare that to just some of their competitors, right? I mean, there's NVIDIA's literally a third right now, PE, 42 and 25 with the forward. So for me, I think I prefer right now, if we're going to play that game, to play in with NVIDIA. But that doesn't mean anything. The stock market will do what it wants to do. And right now, AMD's got the juice, that is for sure. I mean, we've just pulled back $6. You know, and you're still at 350 right there, which was the high. So maybe AMD gets going again. I'm not even sure what's going on here with the NASDAQ right now. I was trying to find to see if there's any information here. It doesn't seem like too much going down. USO, we talked about oil, was starting to inch up a little bit as I sat down here earlier, and there it goes, just a little bit of a movement higher right there. As Iran talks in Pakistan, President Trump not sending Witkoff and why would Kirshner go anyways? I don't understand why the brother-in-law goes.
He's been, well, I guess son-in-law technically, but he's been like a part of this negotiations from the beginning. He was also a very big part of Trump 1.0 and was actually considered the only person that could stop any of these conflicts in Trump's mind.
Okay. In Trump's mind, yeah. So there we go. But those guys not getting sent down. And, you know, President Trump seems to be very diplomatic with this process. He's saying we could do it over the phones, we could do it over secured lines. There's no point in sending a delegation 16 hours over to Pakistan to basically get turned around.
On taxpayer dollars.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too, right? It is also the jet lag aspect. I mean, even though I'm sure they're not traveling coach or anything like that. But still, you know, 14, 15 hours to get over there seems to have been a little bit of a waste of time. So I agree with that. Actually, I never even thought about that. So taxpayer money. So that's a good thing right there that they're trying to get this all figured out. But as the NASDAQ goes to the downside, it does look like obviously oil starting to tick up just a little bit there. And we didn't even get a chance, Joe, to look at gold yet or anything like that here today. Gold or silver. We've had a great time so far this morning looking at everything. But gold downside as well. I believe silver. I got to get some ideas popping off very, very soon. Do we have Michael Noss coming soon? Okay. No problem. Andre, you take as much time as you need, my guy.
You do
over there.
Do,
the Unity's not... He had to tell me that you were ready, and now he's telling me that...
Are you tapped into Unity then?
Oh, I'm tapped in.
All right, man.
I could hear you. I had to, you know...
All right, yeah.
I like the sultry voice. I like the Joe voice, but I had to turn it down a little bit there. Because
that's all right. That's respect.
No, because now you're right beside me.
Yeah.
So it's a little different. Neil probably had to turn you off when you were sitting there. But you're using Neil's mic, though, no? Oh, you switched over.
Because it's easier,
Okay,
it's easier
that's why I was hearing you. I was like, but why are you using Neil's mic?
Yeah, but I never have these guys. I never have Sharif or anybody in my ear.
No. I never have Neil.
Yeah.
But it's like I like to have you guys, so when I come back from the midday show, I can listen to you guys. Okay, that's good. Well, without any further ado, we have Michael Noss ready, and as you know, at the end of the month, it's always nice to look at those kind of charts as well. I'm not sure what's on deck here today, but I'm sure Darren knows. Let's go back over to the desk. It's Michael Noss.
I do know it. It's an interesting one. Right before we get to Noss, I do want to mention, because we were just talking about some of these oil headlines, Iran saying that their military, or they believe their military should have control over the Strait of Hormuz. This is not shocking. We already knew this. But the other thing is apparently President Trump, after these called off visit to Pakistan over the weekend, he's going to be meeting with the security team, and they're going to apparently be discussing next options, which could include resuming the bombing campaign of Iran. Now, that's not to be considered the main option, but apparently it's one of many they could be considering as next steps with Iran negotiations. So I'll keep you posted if we get more details. But without further ado, Michael Noss is here today. Lots of exciting stocks, I think, an exciting sector to talk about. How are you doing? How was your weekend, Michael Noss?
Doing good. I'm a little sunburnt because it's actually trying to get nice out here, but all in all, everything's been great. How about you?
We're, I think, great over here. Thank you. I'd rather not quite sunburn level as of yet, but a little bit nicer, which is always good. And let's talk about this slideshow that you've prepared for us today, because very interesting sector and one that certainly was in the headlines as of last week. So what are we looking at today, Michael?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to start with this just to talk about, I'm talking my book here. I know I've been on here a handful of times talking about psychedelics and my investment in them and some of these names that I have, but we had this press release that came out last week on the 18th here, and from a signing, I actually watched the signing. It was pretty funny. Joe Rogan was in the White House and they were talking about this, but the idea is some acceptance to psychedelics as a mental health kind of therapy. That's the main idea behind it. The actual order doesn't legalize anything. It's not meant to be legalized. It's meant to kind of fast track research. So these are essentially biotech companies. We have to look at them at. It's not the same as the marijuana sector that every time it seems to get good news, it seems to get smacked back down, because that's going to be like a commodity. In this idea, they're looking at these as biotechs, but these charts are starting to look really, really interesting to me, so I just wanted to bring them back to your attention, and again, considering the news that came on. So this is PSIL, so if you just want to take an ETF route, this is Advisor Shares. They have this ETF that just basically tracks, they buy everything that's a big kind of psychedelic part of it, and if you kind of don't want to go into individual names, but you're interested in that, this is one that's fascinating to me. So I think the last time I brought this to you guys was probably all the way back in July, when it looked like we were buying or getting through the VWAP from that all-time high. And I think that's what I said is, yeah, if we can get through and stick the landing through this VWAP, that's kind of interesting because it shows the average price of the average market participant from the absolute high is now making money. And as soon as everyone starts making money, that can be a nice little sentiment shift, and things can look much better when everyone is making money. If you want to know what sentiment is, sometimes you need to just look at price and positioning. So we're clear through that now. We had a little bit of a gap on that news. You can see it is very zoomed out, but on the very far right there, just that little bit of a gap. And so far we're holding it. And that's why I wanted to bring it to you guys today, because most of these things gapped based off of, okay, there's some acceptance in the administration with what we're trying to do. Now let's see if we can push higher. So if this gap continues to hold, I think this is going to be an interesting area to look. If we end up just fading that gap and breaking back down through this VWAP, I'm just going to be no longer interested and just wait for whatever the next catalyst would be. But let's actually zoom in and look at some individual names inside of this. The first one here is ATAI on the next chart there. And this is actually, I was checking the short floats of these as well. Most of them are sitting around somewhere between 10 and 20% short, which makes sense for the biotech sector. We know most biotechs will generally fail trials, and most biotechs don't end up being amazing kind of blockbusters. So like most biotechs, these are carrying heavy short interest. So if these areas that we're looking at end up breaking, they could have a little bit short squeeze going on. So this one's looking very cup and handly to me, right? We had this long base going 2023 to 2025. Again, this is a long-term chart. We broke out of that base at the end of last year, beginning of this year, and then we're putting in this handle look. You can see the gap off the news, and that gap is still potentially holding. So if we can get above $5, that's interesting to me. That would be kind of that downtrend line to see if this can resume higher. The next one here is CMPS. This one's holding the gap the best because they actually got some voucher. I don't understand all the nitty-gritty behind this, but they got some actual mention directly in this bill for potentially fast-tracking their drug, and that's holding 850. And I love that the gap happened right above a very recent high, making this 850 zone a very important one. If we can end up holding above this area, maybe getting through 10, this to me seems like a pretty simple continuation trade, because you put your stop at that 850. If we end up losing that in any significant way, it's probably time to go. But above 10, this one looks super interesting to me. This next one is Help, and I wanted to show this one just to show why it might benefit people to look at the ETFs. Some of these, the last two I showed, looked amazing. They were at least in bases and potentially looking to break out, and they had a positive reaction off that news. This is kind of a relatively weak name. This is Cybin. I guess they just changed their ticker recently to Help. And you can see really no reaction off the news and in a downtrend overall. And I just wanted to show an example of either, if you're buying the ETF, you don't really need to worry about this too much. But if you're hunting in the sector, you can go through and you can look at the ones that look kind of relatively strong versus the ones that look relatively weak, and just probably understand that the market may know something with these different companies a little bit more than we do with the chart. So this last one, again, full disclosure, I'm heavily invested in this name, have been since 5, so it's been a great trade, and I still have it, but I always want to tell you guys when I'm talking my book here so you know. The thing I like about this one as well is just if the same zoomed out period, this is by far the strongest. It's putting in a little bit of a bull flag now, but it's been the strongest over the last couple of years. To me, as part of the benefit of technical analysis is I can defer a lot of expert opinions on things like this that I wouldn't really understand to the masses out there. And if this has the best chart and it's the strongest name out there, it might just be the best when it comes to cash position, or it might be the best when it comes to how their drug potentially may do. But this one looks the best to me just because, again, as long as it holds this bull flag, it holds that reaction that it had higher based off this news, I like it. But just want to reiterate, these are biotechs, right? So there may be phase trials coming out soon on any of these. If they pass, they could skyrocket, and if they fail, they could completely tank. So if you are going to trade these, just understand, like with any biotech, you have to trade them very, very small, because there is a world where there is some failure in a trial, and something like this opens at like $5 tomorrow.
Thank you very much for that in-depth analysis of these charts in the sector. Now, we did have one technical analysis question I saw in our chat, I believe in relation to the first chart you showed here, that PSIL, that I wanted to mention. Jackson on TikTok asking, A, what is the benefit of using an AVWAP versus a standard VWAP? And B, how do you set that up?
Yeah, so most charts you can draw them. I always recommend Brian Shannon's book. I know he's a friend of the channel as well. Maximizing Trading Gains with Anchored VWAP, I think it's called. But the idea behind VWAP, as opposed to any other standard moving average, is it just represents where the average market participant. Yeah, that one right there. Perfect. And if you go right to the back, you'll see my name in there a couple times, so that's really cool. But the idea behind it is this line just represents if you were dollar cost averaging into this ETF, where your price would be. So where are people on average based off price and volume? And it's the same thing that you're seeing if you're day trading on a day trading chart, but that's just going to start at the opening bell. With Anchored VWAP, you can start it kind of wherever you want, which that's the main question, is where do you start it from? I really like all-time highs, all-time lows, large gaps, large events, that type of thing. But in this case, what this blue line is showing me, not so much a huge support and resistance I'm going to buy when it hits or sell when it gets through or something like that, but it just says the average psychedelic investor exists somewhere around $18. So if we are above $18, then people are probably feeling pretty good because they're up money. When we were down at, $6, $7 and that line was still up at 24, people are going to be kind of bummed about the space. And to be able to look at where people are positioned, I think is a really good way to see what their sentiment would be like. And sentiment follows price.
Well, thank you very much for that impromptu technical analysis question. We appreciate you for taking it. Now, Michael, where can people find you other than on this show at 8:30 a.m. Mondays and Fridays?
Yeah, I'm Michael Noss, CMT, everywhere. So you can find me on Substack and even TikTok. But everywhere I am, I'll be Michael Noss, CMT.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing Michael Noss, CMT, back on this show on Friday morning. Thanks again for being here with us, Michael.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, make sure you join us every Monday and Friday around that 8:30 mark. Michael Noss will be joining us. All right, guys, let's take a look at some of the analyst actions here this morning. We're going to kick things off with some downgrades. At the top of the list, we have GE Vernova with the downgrade here. Guys, you're down 1.67%, but the rating going from an outperform to a neutral weight here, $1,190 is going to be that price target. BNP giving them that downgrade. 2% here on Campbell's Company going from outperform to market perform, reducing that price target from $27 to $21 by Bernstein. Now, as for AMD, surprisingly so on the downgrade side of things here, still positive 2% roughly, a little bit less than that. Price target going from outperform to market perform, and a target of $260 by Northland. And then we have Adobe down 1.5%, going Outperform to neutral with a $270 price target by Mizuho. Moving forward, let's take a look at some of the upgrades here. We have First Bank going from an Outperform to a strong buy. You're up 5.5% here this morning, and an increase in price target, $26 to $27. Nokia also getting the nod here, guys. You're up 4%, going from a hold to a buy with a target of $15 by Argus. Now, Fortinet also on the positive side of things. You're up 0.8% here, 0.8%, going from a neutral to a buy with a price target of $104. And then we have CrowdStrike getting the nod once again. I believe they received an upgrade last week. You're up 1.7% here, going from a neutral weight to an Outperform with a price target of $520 by Mizuho. Let's send it back to Sean.
So the thing about GE Vernova, I mean, that's a stock that I absolutely adore. I mean, the way this stock's been moving. I mean, this is, again, another big name in the power supply, right? Power supply products, engineering. And as we talk about this data center just starting to continue to pop off, there goes GE Vernova. I mean, you're looking for this gap fill to refill back into 1,000. If you can do something like that, then that's for me as a buy. I mean, that was a downgrade with a price target higher than where it is currently right now. So I like the space. I was just looking at it. PE 70, a little high, obviously, but there it goes, man. Data center, all the rage right now. GE Vernova, the name that I like there, and then I know CrowdStrike's a pick of Joe's as well. As a pick of mine, pick of all of ours, I think we all like the cybersecurity space, that's for sure. Palo Alto is one that I'm heavier in right now, but CrowdStrike also, back up to the top side of its range, right? We still have a ways to go to get back up to that 550 area, but I think in a world of uncertainty right now, as far as where AI is taking everything, I don't believe that the IGV is hitting, that sort of Centrini report there where we're talking about how every software as a service is now basically under fire. I just don't think that, and I don't know enough about it. I mean, there's probably some engineers obviously there. Oh, here we go. We'll get this. Let me get this in a second. I just don't think there's enough worry for some of these hack ETF, some of the different cybersecurity names to have such a huge impact from the different Anthropic products out there, Claude bots and whatnot. I'm not too concerned about it, but I do like the fact that we're trying to break above the 200 period and get a healthy bid underneath CrowdStrike. Okay, here we go. JKL. Oh, he's on a travel day. Okay, well, hey, we just talked about how good traveling is. We talked about using travel points, getting your credit cards. I still want to look into that, the best Canadian credit card to own there if you're putting some dollars on it. Travel Day report, still short BMNR and MSTR. So we'll just take a check out BMNR there a little bit, as well as they just announced, record Ethereum holdings as well last week for them, all continuously buying some of those dips in ETH. And I believe that the short, oh no, why is my chart not loading? Okay. I think it's a good play. I mean, unfortunately, I'll have to figure. Oh, I know why. It's because it used to be on the Amex. Hold on. Give me 1 second here, and let me call this back up on our e-signal charts, as we still don't have the capabilities of going from Amex to New York on our charting platform, and I'm not really sure why that is. Here's BMNR right here. So obviously you have that huge move up, as we talked about, the whole Tom Lee, he got everyone super excited. Then he sold probably some of his position, bought a couple yachts. Joe was on one of those yachts. Joe with the espresso, thank you so much, man. That's a good one there, my guy. We were just talking about BMNR, but we also we got dumplings there today as well for some reason there. And we got one welcome. Sia is in the building now, back with us full time. Full time. Now, Sia, we're really happy to announce that. So you'll be seeing a lot of her coming up soon. So here's BMNR. JKL, I don't mind it, right? I mean, I think that you want to obviously get below this $21 mark where your 50-period moving average is. But I would think that short's probably good until you break this 24-quarter mark. We haven't been back through that since February, early February. So for me, I actually like that play, BMNR there. And then MSTR, you're sort of dancing with the devil there because of the fact of how levered it is, but I don't need to explain that to you traders out there with MSTR. I mean, if Bitcoin goes, then just have your stops ready to go and get out. But I think you got to give yourselves a little bit more space in MSTR because of the fact that it can move pretty violently. And I don't really see Bitcoin moving around too much right now. 77, 78,000. We'll see if it can finally break through that $80,000 mark. But I like all those shorts, JKL. I think crypto has had a nice little move higher. And I'm just stuck right now. I mean, I have NVIDIA written down. I put out right now so those are some trade ideas. I want to thank you for sharing your trade ideas with us there. I'm actually looking for some ideas right now. I just put it up here just to see what you guys were thinking about right here. We have someone, Trader Tawa Shuwan, right there has some ideas. So I go like this, and I have an idea to block that individual right there. So Northwest Sasquatch says ONDS, Rumble, and Soundhound is what we're liking at there. And Surge the Cat, TQQ or SQQ. Oh, by the way, how's Milo doing?
He's good, man. He's good. Yeah, we're
good.
chilling.
You had that scare a little bit there.
Yeah, he was sick for a little bit. Yeah. He's been good running around.
Almost a year old or more?
He's old. He's like 1 and a bit now, a couple of months, right? Yeah, so. We were out running around with my grandma yesterday for a little bit. He was rolling by the beach, rolling in, so he had to have a bath.
He's loving the beach, eh?
Yeah, so we had to bathe him out there because he smelled like Lake Ontario, which is not necessarily the best thing. But no, Sean, what I'm thinking here essentially is like you were just talking about Bitcoin or Bitmine immersion, and you're still down 85% off of the high. Like, I think we're sitting in a pretty good position where if you dabble a little bit, you have your out, right? Like how much lower can Ethereum go? I mean, it's not a 1-to-1 and it's essentially not a spot ETF. But if we're looking at this at some form of a leverage play and in a successful treasury, we're talking about the fact that these guys are raking in $100 million essentially a year just off of staking their Ethereum. Tom Lee continuously buying more. Is this a bad area to dip by? I mean, if it breaks that $18 mark, you can just get out. So you have $4 worth of risk roughly. So maybe this is a good opportunity to get involved in some BMNR. But as for Ethereum, we obviously have to follow what this name is doing. And with Ethereum, it really isn't as consistent, I would say, as Bitcoin, aside from the hefty pullbacks. I mean, with Ethereum, you've seen we tap into that $5,000 mark, and then it just absolutely tanks, losing 60% of its value. And it takes multiple years, essentially, for it to recover. So I think there's a different use case here. And with BMNR, if we're going to be looking at it as a treasury play, $100 million to kick things off and continuously buying more, I don't think is a bad start.
Yeah, I mean, I like the staking idea too. Depending on where you're staking, I guess it's about 4% or so.
Yeah.
So that's a good little opportunity there. But like we said, you don't want to chase yield too much. You got to believe in what Ethereum's up to. Right. I like the idea of a potential fade maybe in something like the TQQs. Today we'll see with Iran talks failing a little bit. We saw how hot sort of oil's been going for the last little while. We could see something here, maybe give a little bit of a give back. But here we come right up to the upside right now with the NASDAQ. Now trying to hold through VWAP again. Good morning, everybody, says Southern Nurse. So we want to say thank you for the 1 penny there, and you get on the show for that. So this one's from TikTok. So we want to say thank you to all of our viewers watching us live right now on TikTok. So wherever you're streaming, we should be able to be up there, just like a Michael Noss. We're everywhere. Type in Trader TV. You'll be able to find us on whatever streaming platform you are looking at. We want to say thank you to everybody joining us live on TikTok. Ooh, the BMO World Elite card gives 2.5 cash back. 2.5 cash back.
That's pretty good.
That's very good. I think I would avoid the travel worries if we were doing the 2.5. I think mine is like 1 to 2%, and then it maxes out. That's the problem. Like it maxes out
after X
at
amount.
A point, right? And so that's why I was looking to say, kids, there's something where you can get travel points, because now that I've been traveling, we get that bug.
You get that bug, exactly.
Well, I want to go to Vegas.
I've never been.
I was gonna take the wife for 3 or 4. You never been?
I never.
I was gonna go for 3 or 4 days. Like I haven't been probably in a decade.
A weekend.
I know it's super expensive, but I'm just talking about, like, look, I do enough gambling on the show. I don't want to go there, see some shows, eat some good food, chill out at the pools.
Absolutely.
Stuff you could do anywhere, but Vegas is Vegas.
Vegas is Vegas.
You know what we used to do when we went on the Strip? Get those yards. You've never been there, but there's like Slurpee machines that are just full of booze.
Oh, yeah. So when I went to the Chicago Bears game, we got one of those. You get
the yardstick or whatever it is.
Exactly.
You just load it up there, and then next thing you know, you're either high off sugar or
both,
off alcohol or something like that. But I think now, actually, I've heard some negative things about the Strip there, because cannabis, I believe, is now legal.
So people are just.
So I think people are peddling, weed and all that stuff on the street a lot, which is fine, but it's
better than the hard stuff, I guess.
Yeah. So the one thing that's negative about, obviously, smoking in general is the odor.
Okay.
So I don't know.
You're not a fan of the odor?
No, I mean it's just one of those things. Well, I'm just saying when you're walking around the streets.
Yeah.
It's one thing if people are drinking.
In Toronto, that's all you smell.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know if that's true in Vegas. I just heard just smaller. The strip is, although it's quite wide, but that kind of smells quite a bit. You can, but anyways, you guys let me know in Vegas. I'm sure it's fine.
Toronto.
Oh, what's up, Adam James?
What's up?
Well, they call Yonge Street used to be. Not Amsterdam. Shoot, something about Amsterdam. I'll have to think.
Oh, is that what they call it?
Yeah, I can't.
Who is that telling you they call it there?
No, it is. Trust me. I'll have to look it up. Welcome back. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, we were here last Friday, but it's good to see. Yeah, it's good to be back. Basically, thank you so much from everybody there. There we go. Sunny San Salvador.
Yeah,
she says what's up to Joe. Says Adam James.
He's loving San Salvador.
This man is everywhere, right?
He's a digital nomad.
Yeah, I love that. And that's part of being a trader, right? I mean, you've got your account set up. You got your laptop. You can trade from your phone.
He's on
right
Robinhood.
now. You can watch us here every day. You can trade on Robinhood, hopefully for Joe's
That's what he's
sake.
doing. That's what he uses. That's what he uses.
Collect that 1 penny per trade that Robinhood does. You make a couple of 100 million trades there. And we're really happy as well to be back. So thank you. Keep those super chats coming in. And we'll see if we can get some winners. We got another super chat. I don't know. Whatever shows up, we show up over there. Uh-oh. There's that.
There's going to be bang.
Oh, thank God Sean is back. Why is that?
Okay,
lost money without me. Okay, well.
There you go.
I promise you can lose money with me as well.
Yeah. So, it goes both ways, man.
No, thanks for all that. Look, remember, here on the show, Joe, myself, Neil, Sharif, Adair, everybody that's here trading, we're just trying to put our best foot forward, and hopefully it all works out. I mean, the big thing about it is, regardless of if you're green, red, black, purple on the day, make sure that you trade responsibly and trade with your stops and make trades that you want to make. Don't, the biggest thing for myself that's changed is the whole FOMO and revenge trading aspect.
Yeah.
Just because I wrote down Intel on Friday breaking through $87, would have been a great trade if that were to happen, right? Intel gets to $87 on Friday, basically right there, and stops and turns around and comes right back into the downside. So I didn't even trade Intel. It didn't hit my level, and I wanted the breakout. It didn't happen, so I stay away. So you don't get so excited about, oh my God, now I need to completely change my game plan. Stick with your game plan and alter it throughout the day, and I think that's what we try to do best right here. Okay, here we go, Rowan Speed again. We got to get back over the desk because we're going to go over our watch list. We're having a great morning so far. Tesla has been good on open. Jump, scalp. Yeah, we had that great trade. So this is another example. We had a $3 or $4 winner on Tesla on Friday, took it early, and then got hit on the way back in as it lost its momentum around 9:45, 10 o'clock. So there it is. Thoughts on today's open and price targets? Okay, we can do that. I'm still looking. I had a request actually to trade TSLL on Friday afternoon, and
you were tempted to trade TSLL?
Yeah. I mean, tempted. Yeah. I mean, I was just the chat was like, yo, they like that you trade it because it's only a $13, $12 name.
Yeah.
So a lot of traders were saying, hey, with a little bit of a lower account size, maybe we should be trading TSLL as a group because I also trade TQQs.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, why are you trading the TQs if you can trade the Qs? Why not trade TSLL instead of Tesla? So I think now that we have Joe beside me here today, he'll probably be looking at one, I'll look at the other, and maybe I
got AMDL as well.
Yeah, let's not get too carried away over here. Okay, so no, good point. I'm just playing around on that one. But yeah, so for me right here on Tesla, haven't done too much work into seeing what the news stories, if there is anything here with Tesla today. The fact that it's down 0.6. I look at a 5-minute chart always to sort of start the day off with and sort of see where we are. Well, right now this seems to be in a little bit of a malaise, right? I mean, 68 bottom, 78 top. So you're in this $10 sort of gap area here. I think, we've really respected this 370 area, it seems like. So if we can dip down in here, this is going to be an early look. I will do a little bit more on this. We're going to go through our watch list. Tesla's always on topic here today. I was thinking the market was going to be a little bit heavy today just because of that failed Iranian talks. And I like the fact that we broke through VWAP and now we're holding VWAP to the downside. So I would definitely be looking short early on Tesla just because of those early moves. But we've seen it, and let me go over to what you're talking about there on the super chat, and then we're going to go over to the desk. These are the kind of moves that we're talking about. I had this move and then gave it back as we tried to protect some VWAP there, and then it even broke through the 200 period, and then we even broke through the pre-market lows as well on Friday. So you got to be careful with Tesla, but look what it gave you. Joe. It gave you, and I know you're looking at this because you're trading it, you know, it gave you the bottom there, the bottom there, the bottom there. So as long as you were patient, you didn't actually have to hit this in the first half hour. You could have easily waited and gotten a little jiggy with it as the day goes on because we respected a bottom thrice there. And even on Wednesday or Thursday afternoon, same kind of ways, right? You break through, you can take it. Otherwise, you wait for that support to hold and fold. So that's what I'm going to be doing here with Tesla early, waiting to see if that 370 comes into play. I think that'll be a marker. I'm going to make a couple notes on that. Maybe Tesla does make its way over to the sticky note today. Is it one of the names on your mind early or not?
Tesla, yeah, I have NVDA. I think the name of the game today, obviously as it is typically, is patience, right? We've been on a big time run with AMD. I'm looking at AMDL if you guys are looking for a leverage play. That's sitting around $34. We have TSLL, NVDL. So a lot of these leverage products here I'm going to be keeping my eye on. NVDL, AMD, and TSLL are essentially going to be my vehicles on the session so far. And then we can always keep our eye on Bitcoin, right? Like, when are we going to have that one session where it's essentially you get that big 10% move, or it's like 10K within Bitcoin? So that's what I'm sitting patient waiting for. We will get it, and I think there'll be multiple opportunities in order for us to try and take advantage of these styles of trades. But as for now, we are below the volume weighted average price across the board here, Sean. So maybe it's a little bit of a breath type day. You get the pullback here, some profit taking and some relaxing. But I would like to see the long. Maybe that comes around that 2 o'clock mark or any time. So we're ready to we're prepared and ready to go. Meta long today. We can take a look at Meta before we send back. I know it's 9 o'clock. We'll pull this one up before we send it over and get it started, headed over onto our watch list. If you're looking for another leverage product there, Sean, FBL for Facebook, got the 2X there, right? So how many do we have now? We have.
You work for Beta Pro or something over there? Go back to
they should get me working there. I mean, here we go. We can do the rundown. We have AMDL, TSLL, NVDL, SOXL, FBL, right? So we can get long in the tooth with that one. But no, in all seriousness, guys, as for
Hood L?
Is there Hood L?
I don't know.
We'll have to find out. But here it is, right? With Meta, we're not necessarily in breakout territory. Let's see if we can punch through this resistance zone that we have at 679, and then maybe off to the races we can go. But we have to take into consideration this massive run that a lot of these larger names have been on, like 30% in the span of 3 trading weeks here for Meta. That's a pretty big run, and same thing with AMD. So let's be patient, wait for opportunities to fall into our lap, and we can take advantage of it. But yeah, 9 o'clock.
That was pretty fast. That was a fast hour, no?
Things good. Time flies when you're having fun. Monday is typically the fastest day of the week for me. I don't know how you feel about that. Monday just always seems to fly by.
I like it. I mean, I don't. I know you guys go into the gym all the time, like throughout the weekend and everything like that. I get back into the swing of things finally starting on Monday. So I feel like, the weekend is sort of a little chaotic a bit. No, not too much free time. And then, coming into Monday, you get right back into your sort of your routines. And that does create it. I mean, I say it all the time to you guys, to Dara, Shreve, everybody in the back, Neil, everybody. It's like how fast the day goes here. You do the show, you're having a great time, you're able to trade. Unfortunately for you, the day will probably go a little long as you're on air all day.
But see, the thing is not that bad.
No,
like it's like I was having a conversation with my grandma about it. It's like we're just sitting here, essentially talking about things that we enjoy doing and have a good time doing it. So
I mean, I still can't believe we get paid to do this. Microsoft will no longer pay a revenue share. Ooh, okay. What's up with that? What are they even sharing revenue for right now? Copilot? How's your Copilot thing going on?
I don't know. I thought you were the last one using Copilot.
You're the last one using Copilot. Okay. I'm really excited. So there's an up and down little move there for Softy, 428 down to 420. We'll see what winds up happening with Microsoft as that goes back up. Microsoft will no longer pay a revenue share to OpenAI. I don't know what to make of that headline here. Let's go back over the desk and figure out what Adair and Sharif maybe thinking about this. Adair, is there any more context to this? Because does that mean that Microsoft's falling out of bed a little bit here with OpenAI?
Mm-hmm.
So I just got a little bit more context here. Basically, they said that they're not going to be paying a revenue share to OpenAI, but they will participate and remain a major shareholder in OpenAI. They also remain the company's primary cloud partner, and OpenAI products will continue to ship first on Azure. So it sounds like the only major change to their partnership is this revenue share agreement. As of right now, shareholders do not seem to like this for MSFT, but again, if I do get more information, I'll let you know. Also, this does seem to be an announcement that the company's making, as opposed to a report, as far as I can tell right now. But in the meantime, Sharif, what are the futures looking at like for?
Well, we closed out at 713.90 on Friday, Adair. That's yet another all-time high, and we're just a little bit below that level right now at 713. We're down 0.13. So here's the deal: we're going to use 710 as our first area of support. If we catch a bit of a sell offer all the way down, we're looking at that $10 level to hold us up. If we continue to trend up, and last week was a very good week in the market, we're looking at 715, which isn't that far from where we closed out on Friday. That's going to be our one. If we really get going here, we're going to look to that 720 area for whatever reason. Maybe there's something bullish catches the market, and we look into that $10 area as resistance level 2, Adair.
Tons of stories to talk about today, and you can find all of them, although of course not ones that come throughout the morning, but anything pre-market on watch. You can find this here on our Trader TV Live watch list. You can find that, again, that URL right there. Just click subscribe. It is free, F-R-E-E, free, and filled with tons of information, so definitely check it out. We're going to start here with the story we mentioned earlier, but certainly one that I think bears repeating. QCOM gapping up for the second day in a row, and this time with quite the hefty news catalyst, Sharif.
Yeah, the market likes this is because they're going to be able to control the software aspect of the, well, let's see, comes out as a phone, who knows, the software aspect of the hardware device, and then obviously building the chip to jive with that software. Where have we seen that before? Apple, vertical integration. You control the chip design, and it works well with the software, and that's kind of what they're going for here with Johnny Ive's latest tie-up here with OpenAI. Obviously, Qualcomm expected to be basically the designer of said chip design. Now, they are trying to go for a mass production by mid-2028. Again, no prototype as of yet, but we'll have to wait and see here. The market likes this double digits, Sadara.
Yeah, Qualcomm, OpenAI phone. Thoughts?
Yeah, so my thoughts right now are with Microsoft. We're going to go over Qualcomm in a second. I'm going to do that in a minute. I just want to bring this story one more time because Adara dropped sort of the knowledge there, and we sort of saw that this is not necessarily a divestiture of anything for Microsoft, but is OpenAI, like this is a big move, down 4% with Microsoft earnings coming on Wednesday. Right now, Microsoft was one of the names that I was actually thinking to myself. I was like, it's okay to talk to yourself every once in a while. Where is the value? And we talked about NVIDIA here and something. I thought Microsoft was going to put up a big data number in cloud. I mean, I know that they were potentially losing a little bit of space there to AWS and Google. But yeah, now I just wonder, have they, changed a little bit of course here? I just want to read more about this story before I make an educated opinion on what to do with this trade, because Microsoft right now jumping up and down a couple dollars right now and dragging the NASDAQ with it. And I actually just wrote down on here the TQQ short. I'm a little bit delayed. Joe and I had some good conversation here. I'm going to be working on the sticky note a little bit more coming up, so it is coming out. I see some people in the chat. But yeah, Qualcomm not near all-time highs again either, but we're getting there up into that 190 space again for QCOM. A big day there on Friday. Not sure if something was leaked, and then this morning we get that announcement there where they're going to be working on the chips for that new OpenAI phone. The only thing is there, I think it's just a report about this right now. It only makes some sense if they can actually sell these phones. Right now, OpenAI is partnering with the company as well as, this is Ming-Chi Kuo. We've heard this name many times before there in China, often reporting on Apple and stuff like that. So it makes sense there that the telecommunications expert there, Ming-Chi Kuo, would be able to answer this question. But yeah, towards more AI workflows and things like that, I think a cell phone is a simple computer that's in your pocket. I think a lot of people there, I was talking about this with my son as well, that if you are really doing some serious work with AI, you're probably not going to be using your phone to do that kind of stuff. But we all are looking for that next big hot thing. I think a new phone would sell. I just don't know if it has legs. So I like the Qualcomm story here. I think if you're in it, I do wonder if it's a little time to maybe take a little bit off there. Look, if you took some off at Intel when Intel went to the highs, you got burned because it went to 85 bucks. All right, and right now Qualcomm does have a chance to go up, but I think the market's telling us a story here, Joe, where you are fading off pretty nicely off of that 170. So you're down $7. We always talk about the 200 period being pretty key, and right there at 160, it looks like it's bouncing again off of the 200 period moving average. So I'm long Qualcomm until it breaks 160. So that may happen. We only have 20 minutes until the open. Qualcomm, a break of 160, I think changes everything, and we potentially start to look short now. So I like the name, but 160 is my level.
Yeah, just to touch on your Microsoft point there, I mean, the rift between Sam Altman and Microsoft continuing to grow here, I think, in my opinion. Anyways, aside from that, Qualcomm, my big issue with this is look at the competition you're stepping in the field with. You have the Google phone, you have Android, and you have Apple. So this device has to, in my opinion, really be kind of groundbreaking, and that next generation, even though it's going to be a first-gen device coming from OpenAI, it needs to take that step where to grab any form of market share from these larger names, it has to be a really, really good product. And I don't know if they'll have the ability to do that as OpenAI and ChatGPT slowly step down in the rankings in quality of large language models. I know a lot of people are using Grok now, Gemini. So there's so many tools. Is this going to be something that maybe, hey, are we going to be looking at this as a Mark Zuckerberg Reality Labs kind of thing, where it's just like, hey, we spent all this money, we have this deal with Qualcomm, but then the device isn't actually what people want and what the consumer wants. You have to wait, coming out in 2028. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's good to know that they're getting a product released relatively quick. Like the deal between those two, Johnny Ives and Sam, wasn't done too long ago. So we'll keep an eye out on it. As for Qualcomm, I don't love personally, but it is a positive catalyst.
We do have, I don't know, Dara, I mean, you guys are so busy over there, so it's a lot to add to, but we do have Poet right here. And
I have the news, yeah. Okay,
here we go, because right now we'll go to Dara in 1 second. I just want to show this chart. $16 down to $9. Poet had a huge move up, and I remember Neil and I talked about this on Friday, because it had broken through a lot of levels there, and we were talking about 7 at one point here as being, 10 as being the top. There's that break last week, and I'm sure you and Neil were looking at this earlier, as probably Sharif and you were as well on the midday show. But Adair, what's going on with Poet here, down 38%?
Yes, they announced here, it looks like around 9 a.m., so I apologize, about 10 minutes ago, guys. They announced that Marvell canceled all of their purchase orders with Poet that were tied to the Celestial AI. That includes initial production orders that have been disclosed back in 2023. So this impacts roughly 3 years worth here of these orders. Poet saying that cancellation was tied to alleged confidentiality breaches. And of course, the company does continue to serve other customers. But again, Marvell canceling all purchase orders tied to this Celestial AI. While we're here, I think we can go to the second story on this morning rundown, which is big tech earnings. I mean, we've got 5 of the Make 7 reporting, 4 of them reporting on one day, which is the first time I've ever seen that. So what are we expecting from some of these companies here, Sharif?
Well, we're expecting Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, and Apple all in the same week. And there is the geopolitical safety. They're looked basically as not affected as much as some other names by the geopolitical issues, more of a secular play. Market will be very, very interested to see how much CapEx is going to be spent here. The 4 largest tech firms expected to spend $649 billion on CapEx this year. That's not a forward guide. That's for 26. Also, cloud growth expectations, 50% expected for Google, 38% for Microsoft Azure. We're talking about growth year over year, of course, in valuation versus risk, excluding Tesla. So Tesla not included in this number I'm about to give you. The Make 7's trading at 25 times forward earnings. That's actually down from 29 times back in October. See if we can get back to that high level, Adair.
Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think about these companies heading into earnings? Now, Microsoft, of course, with its own catalyst, could be potentially changing things, guys. Which of these are you looking at for today, and which of these are you most excited about going forward?
That's a good question. What I'm most excited about? I'm going to kick things off with Meta. I think a big question here is CapEx. A lot of people talking about that. Is this guy going to increase it? We already know he's spending the most out of all of the hyperscalers, 130 billion plus. So that's substantial. Is that going to be increased? How is Reality Labs doing? What is the digital ad revenue looking like? I think those are going to be some of the key metrics that are going to be intriguing, in my opinion, and where we take that next step. There's so many of them reporting in the same day. It's going to be such a massive teller, and you will see some crazy moves, I believe, in the NASDAQ. So META is going to be my primary suspect there, Sean.
All right, so I was actually going to note right here, Microsoft is bouncing like a lot off that bottom. We last looked at this, it was 407, and I was like, we got to try to figure out what's going on here, because now you're starting to get a little bit of a bounce back there in Microsoft as we continue to retrace through some of those levels. You're right back to VWAP right now on that OpenAI news there with Microsoft. So it sent it down 4% nearly. Well, it was 4% when we were looking at it. Now back plus half back on Microsoft. So there, that one goes right back up to the upside. The name that I'm the most excited about, and again, this is a pretty decent long-term holding for me. It's definitely getting overweighted now, but I don't really care. I mean, I think we got to be overweight on tech names at this point anyways, just as we continue to break higher until something does dramatically change, right? I mean, you're now breaking through on Amazon. This is what happened last earnings report, and I put out that piece and I bought some on day 3. Didn't necessarily work out on the 3rd day, but we did hold this $200 marker, and that was a big move down there. So on a major CapEx spend. So let's just wait to see what this next quarter brings. Are they actually starting to, realize some of this spending back onto their income statement here, or are we just sort of bleeding away some CapEx as we continue to hopefully build something that people will use? We know their infrastructure is getting to be real hot, right? The AWS and a lot of abilities there to build on top of some of the applications that they've made through Rufus and whatnot for the Amazon shopping experience continues to be something there. And, just learning more and more about, as retail investors, this name could start to get hot a little bit as now we go from a storage name where AWS has really sent this name sort of through the roof to let's see, exactly how important, their retail spaces. They've opened and closed different stores with Amazon, but I think this continues to be an AWS story. And as we continue to get data build outs, we saw GE Vernova at all-time highs. We've seen Caterpillar starting to bust through some of those levels as well as we just continue to appreciate Northbound here in the space. I like the retail space. I like what they're doing on AWS. Andy Jassy penned that letter a couple weeks ago giving direction. Everybody seems to like it. They have Zooks as well. Yeah. They have some space interests here. And guess what?
What's up?
After everything we just mentioned here, that's not even their biggest catalyst.
The layoffs?
No, layoffs are layoffs. No, man, Anthropic. Yeah. They are the largest investor in Anthropic right now. They have over 8% of Anthropic. So when that name comes to market at a valuation of probably 3 or 4 times what the market's expecting to give it, then you're going to see Amazon really start to kick up some dust on that. So I like Amazon. I like Google's recent investment in Anthropic as well. So for those 2 reasons alone, I really like Amazon and Google.
I feel with Amazon, it's like we almost just kick the e-commerce side of things to the curb, and we're just like, yeah, it's AWS, it's everything that they have coming in the pipeline, essentially. You just mentioned the AVs, autonomous vehicles within Zooks, right? Those are in Vegas. Now, speaking of Vegas, you wanted to go there, you may as well check out a Zooks and go and ride with that. There's no front end. I think they're pretty cool vehicles, but there's so much in the pipeline.
They're getting in the front end. Oh, yeah,
right. It's like it can go both. It can literally just turns around. Anyways, they're getting into pharmaceuticals as well, too. Sharif knows about that. So a lot in the pipeline for Amazon. And I mean, we have to take into consideration everything that is done when the majority of their products are coming from China and you have tariffs on them. So, I mean, Amazon's been an amazing performer and it's rebounded pretty well, but yeah, the e-commerce side of things, I think will still drive it, but it's AWS. What is that growth coming in, and how much are they going to continue to spend? One of the larger hyperscalers who actually are starting to see a profit turn, even though it's nothing substantial, these guys are starting to see an ROI relatively quick, and that's essentially what we were looking for. And I mentioned the layoffs as well. So, I mean, a lot going, if something can move, it might be between, in my opinion, what we have in Meta. I'm really interested to see what we have there, and then Amazon for a potential breakout in an all-time high.
Another big tech story here, rather stocks to watch. After Intel's big gap up on earnings on Friday, we have some moves here and analyst notes on the likes of NVIDIA and AMD today, Sharif.
Yeah, this is an interesting trade here, Adair. We've seen a big move of money outside of SaaS and software names, specifically into semis. And what the market is pricing here is basically a hardware-first mandate. They're saying CapEx for the major hyperscalers expected to be about, as I mentioned earlier, about $650 billion this year, and they're expecting the majority of that money to be spent on silicon, hence why they're moving up here quite aggressively. But there's also this SaaS digestive period. Some of these SaaS names are really struggling with enterprises automating AI tasks. That's led to valuation compressions with a lot of these names. But there's also sovereign AI demand. We've seen a lot of the countries in the Middle East and Asia want to build out their own AI. The only way to get their hands on that, obviously, is to buy silicon and power racks and build out data centers. There's also the power trade as well, right? This really driven by the energy constraints for the new AI chips and these very energy efficient names, case in point, Intel's 14A node, are really being championed as the next gen of AI. So more money funneling in there. And then there's also margin divergence, Adara, with SaaS companies facing that sticky inflation and higher consumer acquisition costs. Top tier semis are maintaining record-breaking gross margins.
And it's also worth noting here, you've got NVIDIA with a $300 price target maintained here by BofA, calling the top sector pick. Meanwhile, AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, getting a downgrade from Northland Capital with a $260 price target. What's the look on these semis and all the others?
Yeah.
I mean, you had AMD on the watch as a downgrade there, so that's a little bit interesting to see that. I mean, I think we were both looking at. I won't steal the thunder with NVIDIA, because I know you want to talk about that. I just want to look right now quickly. I think a name that got really heated, and look, I mean, I'm in Marvell. Marvell's been an absolutely beast. I know Sharif's in Broadcom, which has been a great, I mean, some of these names have just had great upside plays, and I just, you know, just like getting out of some intel at some of these levels as well, I really feel it's appropriate to do probably some of that on Marvell. I mean, we were really lucky to get Marvell to get through this $100 marker, and then that next level was that 130, and ever since we've broken through that, it's just been up and away. So I just want to say, like, you know, to take something, I know you're a Kramer guy sort of too as well, but like, you know, pigs do get slaughtered, and the thing is, like, if you're not taking something out on the way up, I think it's a little foolish at this point, especially now that you're heading into this major week of earnings. If there were, you know, don't want to use the Lord's name in vain, but God forbid, we have some sort of a negative pushback here from some of the big spenders. What exactly will that mean for a name like Marvell, where people are running sort of to buy this name because of what's involved in building out the data centers, what's involved in these custom ASICs like Sharif was just talking about there as well. So, you know, you got to be careful about some of these specialized companies that have really got going on this big, huge data build out and server side business. And Marvell is just one of those names that I feel like could get hit a little bit if we do get a pushback. So just for me, I think NVIDIA, you're going to talk about that. I really like that as a breakout, but I also put AMD and Intel and all these names that have gotten really excited to the upside in that same category, where I don't think you would be wrong taking a little bit out right here and then maybe regrouping in a couple weeks, depending on what happens. Because a lot of the times we get so excited about things and then it gets flipped on its head. So it's like when the easy money appears to be easy, that's actually when it's the toughest. So I don't think it's the time right now to be rushing into a lot of these names that are up 50, 60% over the last month.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what I was about to get at. 75% in AMD over the past month, since the beginning of April, okay? And then you have 126% over the past month and a bit in Marvell. Now, something that hasn't been moving as fast is NVDA. Now, we know that NVDA investment, $2 billion into Marvell. We have Broadcom around the all-time highs. You have AMD all-time highs. So I'm thinking, hey, let's kind of, as Sean was saying, just kind of get level-headed once again. There's nothing wrong with taking some profits off, because if you're selling some at the high, the chances of you getting a pullback are pretty high, in my opinion. So if we're looking at this name, you could be the best in class. You could be the best of breed. A lot of people were talking this, essentially, is that you have to look to take some off. And I think that's the narrative here. $347 and change, a high of 350, 75% off of those lows. That's a pretty big run in AMD. You could take a look at the PE. Is it expensive or is it not? Is things going to turn around on a dime? I don't think that's necessarily the case, but you have to take into consideration is that, hey, this will take multiple years sometimes in order to receive some of the gains that you've received in a month. So just keep your eyes on that. I would look to take a little bit, even if it's 30% off, and then look to allocate some at a lower price. But a name that I'm going to be keeping my eye on, and the focus is this one, essentially, right? They're in bed with all of the hyperscalers. You have the deal with Marvell. So I'm looking for this name, considering it's had that almost it was like 6-7 months of just consolidation and moving sideways, moving to the right, not necessarily up or down. You have a low of 165 and a high of 185. Now you've officially broke through that on this run that we've seen in the chips. So I think, considering we talk about the longer the consolidation and potentially the longer the move and all the deals that this company has made, I like our chances to climb a little bit higher, and price targets of $300 north on NVDA. I wouldn't be surprised if we can break out and sustain this move, which we have already. So that's going to be my primary. I'm not going to chase the Marvells. I'm not going to chase the AMDs. I like the king of the chips right now, and that's NVDA, guys.
Time to talk here about TSLA. Of course, we had earnings recently, and now new interesting catalyst involving some share registration, Sharif.
304 million shares, Adara, tied to Elon Musk's 2018 pay package, which was voided by that judge in Delaware, and then obviously reversed by the Delaware Supreme Court last year, siding with Tesla. The registration of these shares does not mean there's going to be immediate sale. Rather, actually, it ensures that they'll be freely tradable only when Elon Musk actually exercises his options before they expire. They expire in early 2028, so they may not even reach market until then. Tax implications, though, to cover the significant tax bill that comes with exercising these many shares, he likely will be forced to sell some of them like he did back in 2021. So we'll have to see if this affects dilution, Adara, or any of the volatility.
And we know Sean earlier was asking about a catalyst in Tesla. This is really the only one we have. What do you guys think about this name?
Yeah, I mean, now you're starting to go down even lower than we were before. So, you know, we talked about we got a super chat of this name about looking for that 270 level and, you know, potentially where we're looking here on Tesla. And I just, you know, it's a nice downside move. You do get that huge bump up there, up into 400. We bounced off of the 200 period moving average. That's never a great sign when you hit it and reject it, especially when it's up to a past support area that now looks like it's going to be resistant. So if you're thinking about going long on Tesla right now in the long term, I'm already stuck long. I'm not stuck. I'm long. I'm not thinking about buying more of this name at this level. But again, we saw the movement, and if we're going to talk about day trading, this is a day trading show. We only have 3 seconds now until the imbalances come out. Let's have a quick little look here, just in case something does pop through with these imbalances. So here they are out right now. It's hit a size there. I see Intel with a little small sell. Right there, kicking a little lower. NVIDIA with a sell. So as some of these names come sell, you do see it's pretty mixed up, though. Right now, Snapchat has a story about it. They were up a couple percentage points as well there today. That's got a buy underneath it. But okay, back over to Tesla. Yeah, we got that super chat about scalping it, and I think that's the right thing to do. I mean, on Friday, we sat there, and we were all like, you know, happy, happy, joy, joy early because we went long, and we were able to get out. And we were able to do quite well up there. Once the momentum breaks, you definitely want to snap out of it. So, you know, watch out for the 25 period moving average early. That's something that I look at. And then for more support, we look at the 200. But we had that long early on a sort of a pre-market break with Tesla and getting us that bottom. And we called 372 or 370 on Friday. That's exactly where it went to, and then it blasted higher, and we were able to catch it on the way up. But look at this falling knife on the way back down, almost like a complete N shape there, up and down. And then it just gave us an easier trade as the day went on, as we found some support. So right now we're at 372.50. Look, that's that level there from Friday. If we sort of zoom back out is what I'm trying to do right here, and see what's going on today. There you go. Now you're at that 372.50 mark again. So you're coming right into these areas. So now I feel like on a 5-minute chart, we zoom back out a little bit and we look at this level right here of 370. So it looks like that's going to come into play. The sticky note is now out. I wrote down short on the NASDAQ here today with the TQQs. I don't like the fact that we're underneath VWAP. We're holding it pretty good. I'm not really hearing too many great stories. I didn't like the fact that Microsoft sent this market a little lower there. I don't like the fact that Apple's starting to go lower. So I'm not going to fight the tape with the NASDAQ. So I can't right now think about a long in Tesla, but down into there at 370, I think that's the first spot that you might sit at to see if you can do something there. And we're just hearing in our ear right now that Microsoft's all the way back. So there goes that story.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have just made 4% in your account. Obviously, that's, you know, cherry picking because there's no way you're getting the bottom. But there it is, a nice move back up there for Microsoft. So I would rather hold off on Tesla a little bit, let it develop a bottom or a top, and play off proper support and resistance rather than just trying to guess here on TSLA.
Yeah, maybe a couple of headwinds here for Tesla. I mean, we talked about the earnings report, fantastic numbers coming from the company, obviously positive cash flow, but we've said this on multiple occasions, the fact that it's not going to be positive for long due to the fact that he's spending $25 billion on the Terafab, which we think is a little bit of a slight underquote, and chances of it costing him more are probably significantly higher than what we're expecting. The market taking a little bit of a dive here once again as NVDA. But as for Tesla, I mean, I didn't love the breakout. It has broken that channel, but the market really moving lower here now, being led by NVDA. You can see that we're starting to take a little bit of a dive here, guys. I'm not loving the long either here in Tesla, but I mean, we've had a couple of strong sessions over the past couple of weeks, Sean, so I wouldn't be surprised if at some point throughout the week, we see that one where it just bids up and continuously grinds higher. So I'm not thinking long on Tesla here today, but anything can happen considering this is the market. And we've seen a lot of these fades just get bought right back up. Yeah. So if that's going to be the narrative here with the street, so I mean, at the end of the day, go with the flow.
It's funny that we talk about the NASDAQ, and like I'm sort of looking short on it, but we were up 1.6% there on Friday.
Yeah.
The market just keeps on pumping for the NASDAQ. I mean, look at these TQQs chart here. So a little silly maybe to think about it, completely going short, because I think you're right.
Yeah, at rebound, some point, right? Like, I mean, even if it's later in the day, around that noon hour or something along those lines, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we sold off enough. Oh, we think everything's at a discount from an intraday standpoint, and everything just gets bought back up. Yeah. How many times, like you just mentioned on Microsoft, okay, yeah, you're down 4%, and then next thing you know, half an hour later, you've recovered the majority of the move that you just lost. So I think that's the narrative right now. A lot of these dips being bought, and let's stick with that.
Quickly here, guys, because the market is about to open. USO and watch. I mean, most recently, we're hearing reports that President Trump meeting with his security team and considering a variety of options, including potentially resuming the bombs and strikes in Iran. Sharif, what do you have for us?
Yeah, well, we could open up the strait later, hopefully, as Iran is floating an idea of opening up the strait, voiding that or removing that from the nuclear talks, basically saying that they'll do each independently. President Trump canceled the trip for his envoys amid tremendous infighting and confusion within Tehran's leadership, something that I theorized right from the beginning.
Yeah, what do you guys think here about oil? And good luck to everyone as the market prepares to open.
We only have 15 seconds right now until this market opens. I'm actually going to start the day with a short. I mean, I wrote down 62.30, trying to break through on the TQQs there. So I think if we do break this low of 62.20, we're going to try our hand at a little bit of a short here with only 5 seconds to go. We will talk all about oil here as well. Ears to the ground. We've got obviously Adair there behind us. Sia's here today as well. Really happy to have her around now. So here we go. The market is now open and open to a little bit of a bid here for the NASDAQ as we continue to go a little higher. Let's wait to see, man. I mean, maybe that was the low right there that just came through. I mean, we saw Microsoft really get kicked and then right back in MSFT. Where is it? There it is right there. Right back to almost green now on Microsoft after being down 4% on that story. We wanted to look at Apple, which apparently had some problems there with that new OpenAI phone possibly coming through there with Qualcomm. Apple now bouncing off 265 up to 267 is trying to go there as well. The other name that we looked at was Poet, and if you don't know it, we're going to call it up right now. There it is, $9 breaking. All right, man, there it is. We do have our first trade on, so we got to hit the trade alert board right now as we take that short, as we break down right now. And hey, look, this could be, we're going to give it a little bit to VWAP here. I mean, if we break through VWAP, we can get out. 62.80 is going to be my stop right now on the TQQs as we have first position in here, Joe, and it's going to be a short on the NASDAQ. We're trying to stick with our guns a little bit right now. See if we can get out a 5% down here at the 10 marker, and then a little bit of a break through 62, and then we'll see if we can get something down there as well. So far, one short right now, a little early for that, so we're not going to load up on it, but if we do come back up into the 65 area, we'll see about getting a little more short there. Breaking out through 80 would be my stop there on this NASDAQ. Early short here on NASD, NASDAQ, but TQQs.
TQs, yeah, we like that. Yeah, Sean, let's see, man. VWAP starting to curl down pretty aggressively here, guys. We have NVDL still have the inability to crack through this 104.20 level. That's going to put you approximately around, okay, there it goes, that 210 mark on the actual underlying, and a nice uptick in NVDA. Let's see if this is going to drag the overall market. I have my eye on Bitcoin as well to see if we're going to get this move a little bit higher. $44 has been holding pretty good for us here today. So maybe we'll get a curl over north of the volume weighted average price, punch through some of these pre-market zones, and I think that might be a green light for us to rock and roll on some Bitcoin. But nonetheless, I mean, TQ's down a little bit. There's no continuation since the bell, but I think this is a consolidation before we break down. We are slightly extended from VWAP, so maybe you get a pullback into that area that Sean was talking about, and then maybe a continuation. So that's a potential play there. NVDA essentially now north of VWAP, so that's a positive sign. Waiting for some more data to be printed here on Bitcoin, just in case there is a long opportunity. All right, let's send it off to Adair.
Yeah, I'm seeing reports that a drone attack has targeted Iranian opposition groups west of an area in Iraqi Kurdistan. So some attacks here on Iranian groups I'm seeing reported here, but again, taking place in Iraq. Let's talk about Verizon. VZ on my chart here. We know they had earnings this morning, kind of a mixed report. The earnings call apparently started at 8:30 a.m., so unclear where this announcement's coming from. But either way, stock spiking in a big way off the open. In discussions, apparently, with hyperscalers and cloud providers to integrate their fiber and 5G assets to support AI infrastructure efforts. Unclear if this is a report or an announcement. If I get more details, I'll keep you posted. Back to you.
Yeah, good.
Thanks.
Good stuff. How's that TQ's rock?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, not much going on here as well with the TQs. I mean, you kind of nailed that. Oh, hold on a second. I got to turn. I have Joe in my ear again. Hold on, turn that off. Right there, I wanted to hear Dara a bit better. Okay, so yeah, still in the short, still waiting for some 10s. One name that just fell in that I was like really thinking about buying here was going to be Google. Nice little move straight down right now into 340s again, 343. So, this is going to try to hit a level that I was, looking to buy up. I mean, there's the low. We do have last week's sort of high that we broke through there on Friday. We busted through that 340 area. Now we're trying to hold out. So this could have been a decent long, but I was looking at my position and was like, I'm already short the NASDAQ. Going long Google, short NASDAQ doesn't necessarily make too much sense, but we do get a little bit of a fill there, so we'll just go a temporary bang. As we get some 10s, we do get the bottom there of the current move, so we do take 10 cents on 5%, so very small amount out right there. S&P futures trying to get going a little bit. We haven't looked at the banks yet. We didn't even talk about anything other than big tech pretty much all morning, so we do apologize for that. But look at JP Morgan. I know a pick that you like, pick that I like, one of the top names in my portfolio as far as the bank sector is concerned. JP Morgan up a little bit as well. SoFi starting to go higher as well. Now, yeah, we bought this $18 on Wednesday or Thursday last week. Yeah, now up to 19, so that's a nice little move there. We did have some talk earlier, Joe, as well about BMNR. So we can watch out for this. There it goes, man. Flat, up 0.02, but a nice little recovery there in BMNR as we have a couple traders in our chat there we know are short BMNR. There goes, Bitcoin 77. You can see it at the bottom of my screen right there. Check in on Microsoft. The Microsoft story, an interesting one there with OpenAI. We'll get some more clarification there, but, they did have that story earlier about what was it? They're not paying any more royalties or something?
Yeah, so basically, the revenue sharing agreement Microsoft had with OpenAI is over. Sam Altman already commented on this too, I think like a minute or so before the bell, but it kind of echoed what we already knew. He said that we're still going to be partnered with Microsoft. They're still our primary partner, but we can also offer on other clouds. So it really just allows OpenAI to branch out a little bit in terms of who they work with. That's, to my understanding, both in the initial announcement and what Altman said, that seems to be the main piece of this.
Okay, so yeah, we'll Sam Altman coming out and talking about this story. So we'll wait to see what's going on there. But yeah, I mean, this is the problem. You're in a trade and nothing's really going on. So sometimes when a trade doesn't work immediately, there's two things to do. You either try to let it work out and see if anything's really changed, which is why we go back. There we go. We take out another piece there at 10. Why we go back over to the TQs and let's let this thing work out a little bit. We're now bidding. We're out of just 10% now. We're bidding O's. We'll see if we can get some O1s down here now as we continue to watch the market sell off a little bit here early today. Failed Iranian talks, I believe, would be a reason for part of this. There, one name, see, the market just bounced again. We almost got our O's and then it bounced. Here goes the market trying to go upside. We only have one number today, so we'll watch out for that one coming. And I'm just
It's a very minor number too, it's not one we usually give.
Yeah, so I'm gonna exactly go over what that number is just real quick and then we'll go over to Joe. Dallas Fed Manufacturing at 10:30, I laugh, but nothing going on with that one most likely there right now. But let us know if there's anything in the chat, obviously, that you guys want us to cover that potentially we haven't. It's very early days. It's 9:36. Thank you so much for joining both Joe and I, Neil, on day off here today. So we're really happy to be here with my guy, Joe, one more time.
There goes Bitcoin.
There goes BT. You're not in anything?
Yeah, I'm looking to see if we can get involved
you're looking at BTC?
Yeah, we're looking at some Bitcoin.
Nice move back here for the TQQs. So you know, like I said, we're not layering into this stock, not until we get up here into the 60 area, this little top, then we're going to break through if it does break through 80s. So just a couple pieces out here, potentially looking to maybe reload a little bit of what we have in there, but I think patience is going to be key. Did NVIDIA take out the all-time highs yet? No, it did not.
Almost. It's almost there.
Yeah, so this is a worry spot for me, right? NASDAQ rips higher here if NVIDIA takes this out. So it looks like NVIDIA is trying to go. AMD also downside today. That's down 3%. We saw the downgrade come.
Yeah.
And then what, like, Intel up or down, do you think?
Down.
Down, okay. Intel up right now, 3%. No, I think it was a good call. Like AMD was down. We saw some, you know, some of the high flyer names get a little hit there.
Yeah.
But no, Intel just finding a bid one more time here today. You talked about the 50-period moving average. I mean, great little low there for Intel coming in. Okay, now we're going to get a little shorter here, I believe, on the NASDAQ as we hit VWAP. So yeah, I'm still going to wait for this 80 to break, but it's getting excited now as NVIDIA trying to take out some of those highs. And let me guess, that Google long at 43 would have been okay. Up to 44 right now. Google, Micron bouncing as well. I see some people talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin continuing to the top side here, guys.
Wow, Micron.
It's going to be our primary name right now as it's continuing to climb higher. We'll pull up IBIT for us. Now we're posted up at 4406s to see if we can catch the fill. So we need some form of a pullback, market continuing to climb. Let's see how we react around the volume weighted average price. I think that's going to be a key teller. We have AMD heading towards the downside, 336.51 here, and it looks like it wants to break the low of the day so far. But with NVDA climbing higher, I mean, today is going to be the day. Did we tap into 212? We did almost 212.02. So you run into that previous all-time high, start to come back in a little bit. But I was mentioning this is going to be my name where I think I'm going to start to grab a little bit more, sitting on some cash, nothing substantial. In the swing account, we're 100% cash, but long-term account, we're sitting on about 1.5%. So let's get fully allocated, in my opinion. Now's the time. So yeah, well, let's be patient, Sean. That's my primary name. We have a consolidation low, 4406 is here. I don't know if we're going to get that as we're continuing to move. So I might have to bump that up to 4408. To be honest with you, because we broke up I mean, it's only a couple of pennies, but hey, it's a lot, man. It's a lot here in Bitcoin right now. But with the market moving higher, starting to pull back, what we have as resistance from before can potentially act as support at 62.28. Now, if we reject VWAP and you see the Microsoft start to come back in, which I believe they are, what's Microsoft doing? Hovering above the volume weighted average price. And I say this all the time. When we're trading the TQs, Sean, it's like I have to run through and see what the larger names are up to. What is Apple doing? Apple flat, moving around the volume weighted average price. What is Amazon up to here today? Below the volume weighted average price as well. So if these names really start to get rocking and rolling, then sure enough, maybe the Qs will start to follow. But we have AMD to the downside, Bitcoin to the top side, and NVDA just hovering slightly above VWAP.
So a quick little look here at the broader market, because I think you just, you know, nailed some stuff there about some tech names. Yeah, I mean, let's look around. There's Tesla down 1.7%. Maybe we'll have to have a quick look at that again. You're looking at the TSLA. It's Micron land, right? And we're all living in it right now. Micron up 5%. Again, as that name continues to go higher, we have SNDK reporting, I believe, Thursday.
Correct.
Yep, good, thanks. There for that one. There's Corning down 3% as we worry about Qualcomm and them getting some deals with OpenAI. Why not Corning? Why can't they make the Gorilla Glass for the OpenAI phone? Maybe there's something going on there. AMD to the downside as well. But okay, we just got another piece out on the Qs off that reload. So that was going to be a nice little short up there on the TQQs off of VWAP. I'm really interested in some of these names. GE Vernova, man, you can't keep a good stock down for long. So I'll have to wait to see what GE Vernova says about that. Down 3 and a bit percentage points. Another name that I favor, and I don't own any, but I do like what they're doing there. Vistra Energy, another one, VST, could be something going on there. John Deere upside as we look at that overall market. Nice to see Eli Lilly bouncing back just a little bit here. Still bad, man, still underneath that $900 mark. We watched that lose that 960 marker and hasn't really been able to come back from that since then. So here's just a little broader look at the overall market. The real redness would be in that producer manufacturing area. And then Tesla going on right here as well. Amazon, Walmart, Costco, retail side down with Home Depot up. I haven't looked at Target in a while. We did get some out of, I think it was 122 and change. Target went up to 130. Talk about a name that does give a dividend in the space, which is kind of rare. 130, yeah, for Target. So we'll see what that goes.
Walmart has one, no?
No.
Are you sure?
If they do have one,
it's very small. It's very minuscule. I think it's like 1% or something.
Okay, we could check it. I mean, 1% is better than 0%.
Yeah, they do offer. They do offer. Yeah, it's like a quarter a share. So a dollar. Yeah, a dollar.
A dollar a year on 130.
It's like 1.2%. Yeah.
No, less.
Exactly.
Yeah, like maybe 0.7.
Yeah.
Okay, reloaded there on the TQs a little bit there. We just got a piece out as here we go back down into the downside. We're trying to support our positions here. I'm short right now the NASDAQ. Joe's looking at a few names. We got Adara in the back.
Indeed, we do. Let's take a look at Verizon. I know second time this morning I've mentioned Verizon, but they do have their earnings call happening right now. CEO Dan Schulman saying that the company sees multiple $1 billion in revenue from AI support. So unclear what his time frame is for that amount of revenue, but either way here, VZ on watch as that earnings call seems to continue. Back to you.
It looks like it's going to break here. I mean, we rejected VWAP on NVDA. We have Bitcoin starting to come into our level, and then AMD is just straight to the downside. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to fill this gap on AMD, and I'm not saying we're going to get that full closure, that hard gap fill, but at some point you'll get like 40, 50, even maybe 60% of it closed. So let's pull up AMD on the daily. Yeah, so there we go. We've already entered it there, Sean. So boom. Right at 336 is, now we're trading at 330 with a high of around 352. So you don't want to be the individual up getting caught all the way up here, buying that high. And that's what I was mentioning not too long ago. You have that pullback and it's starting to formulate right now. I think that we see a little bit more. $300 I think is reasonable in my opinion on AMD. Substantial move, 75% in the span of a month of trading. That's a pretty big move in my opinion. And it's one of the names that was like, hey, is AMD going to be that next $1 trillion club? Obviously, we know that JPM. We were talking about Sean was talking about the banks, best in breed. You're sitting around 800 billion right there from a market cap standpoint. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see AMD. Also, Walmart, the name that we were just going over, part of the most recent addition to the $1 trillion club.
I don't mind. Is Walmart the most recent one? Okay,
yeah.
I know Broadcom hit it there, but I know Walmart did as well. Yeah, so good call on that one. Making the move over to the NASDAQ. A little bit of a false bump into the NASDAQ 100, but that's okay. All right, so just talking a little bit about the futures play. Like, the setup is here for it to go down. It's just, it's not doing anything. The futures are not really doing too much, which I think is where there's some value in trying to follow your plan. And I mean, that's, again, up to VWAP. We waited pretty patiently to get that short, which gave us a little bit of juice to get back into the downside. I am still a little nervous about this. I mean, it's not necessarily going the way that I thought it would. I thought we would start to head downside a little bit more now, and I hate sitting in something waiting for the story to develop, but I like the NASDAQ. I like the fact that we're still underneath and that we should be able to get downside a little bit, and here we go. What's not helping the NASDAQ, but it's helping the old account there, as we see if we can have some diamond hands with our Palantir longs right there, because it's nervous Nancy on this stock, right? I mean, when the market goes upside, you are looking for some help with Palantir, but today market's going downside and Palantir's up 1%. So that's a really nice call right there for Palantir shareholders, watching this name sort of appreciate to the long end of the chart.
There goes the NASDAQ for you.
Yeah, there goes the NASDAQ for me. Yeah, we're still doing, I appreciate that, Joe, there. A little look on the NASDAQ. So, yeah, we'll continue to, hold out hope that the NASDAQ will get to the downside. I'm still bidding some O's there. Let me just put another bid right here at 06s. There we go, we'll take that as well. Just so we don't get carried away with it. There it is, a nice little downside play there for the NASDAQ. And that's the only trade that I have on so far there today. And looking at that, Palantir looked pretty juicy as well. No problem with PLTR for the long side. Microsoft, did it recover? I would assume with the NASDAQ coming down, Microsoft, no. Microsoft is fine. The other name that we wanted to look at potentially for a short was Apple. And that name is not working out for the short either. And I always get questions like, oh, you wrote down Apple short, but you didn't take it. Yeah, I mean, it has to set up. And right now, with the NASDAQ moving to the downside, I just don't see like too much excitement for me to be taking Apple long if I'm not long already. So we'll wait for this to maybe fade out a little bit. We are at the pre-market highs there for Apple as we get worried about the Qualcomm story and what that means with OpenAI. And it's just a matter of how close are they. I thought we heard from Adara or Sharif that it was maybe, Was it 2027 there for the OpenAI?
I don't even remember seeing a date on it, truthfully. I mean, Ming-Chi Kuo, usually I find he's he can be far in the future, but I find he usually tends to be at least partially accurate, so bear that in mind. I find people tend to kind of turn against him or root for him, depending on if they're speaking about companies he likes or doesn't like. I think with him, generally, I'm just being honest here. I think generally speaking, his track record.
Gia. Thanks, Adara. Gia, my daughter, you can tell who I'm yelling at all week. But there we go. We just get a nice, sweet ass move.
Yeah, something stepping in here for sure. Something stepping in on the market.
Let's go, man, Joe. This is what trading's about, man. You make the calls, you step up there, and hopefully it starts to pay dirt. And there it goes. Nice little downside move for the TQQs. This is the trade that we wrote down right there on our sticky note, the only one that we have taken so far today. So if you guys is following, we do appreciate that one right there. There it is, a TQQ 62.30 short, 62.30 short. What do we have? 62.30s, and there's the short now for the TQQs. Now, is this a home run trade? We've made our day with it, but that doesn't mean that we won't lose it back again. Here comes the NASDAQ to the downside. So far, so good there. But looking for a little bit more, and if we can try to find out where that little bit more would be, I'm always looking at this 200 period moving average. So I would think 61.40, 61.50, something like that for a little bit of a play. Remember, the Nasdaq's been super hot, so it's been a dangerous play, I would say, to try to hold on to this short throughout the whole day. So let's see if we do get a little bit more movement to the downside. I'm going to take out one more piece here at 62 flat, and then see if we do get a continuation move lower. So far, so good, but not the most exciting market to start the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's to the downside. We tried that dip buy, and we were just giving it past that low of the day, and whatever volatility spike just stepped in, we've seen it across the board here. But we'll take another attempt. If this downtrend breaks, then why not take an additional stab on that one? Nice short from Katina Man on the NASDAQ, but then we also have a nice indecision print on AMD right off of these lows, so you can grab that. Oh man, that was a nice opportunity missed right there.
Yeah, man, the market just bounced back again.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just going to bounce back. As for Bitcoin, these dip buys a little bit more tough because you see these volatility spikes and it just flushes, especially when we had a support level right there at 44.06, decides to break that and head a little bit lower, now at the low of the day here on Bitcoin. So we have to wait for this trend to be broken in order for us to get involved. But yeah, there it goes. Volume stepping into the overall market, and then sure enough, you're starting to climb a little bit higher here, being led by the likes of NVDA as it's still hovering around VWAP. We have Apple still doing the exact same thing, continuing to climb here. So maybe we'll start to head towards that pre-market high of 270 here on AAPL. So not too bad of a look there. Amazon, how has that been performing on the session around the low? So participating in that flush, and then Meta, almost at the high of the day there, Sean, but we're holding
Tesla.
up. Yeah, I mean, just holding up pretty
Tesla
good.
tanking, Tesla down 3%.
Tesla tanking.
Some more action happening right here for TSLA. What I miss, Adara?
Yeah, worth noting, I mean, I have no idea if this has anything to do with the drop, but it's worth noting. I'm just seeing a headline here. I heard some headlines earlier, saw some headlines earlier that the foreign minister of Iran, Ergachi, was speaking with President Putin of Russia. Now I'm seeing reports from Iranian media suggesting that Iranian foreign minister Ergachi telling Putin that their ties will be strengthened, I'm guessing, between Russia and Iran. That's really all I'm seeing here from a geopolitical standpoint. Small story on Boeing, but not moving the stock in any way whatsoever. Seeing reports that Boeing and the U.S. Navy successfully completed a test flight. Back to you.
Boy, here we go, man, to channel my inner Obi. Oh, boy. There goes the NASDAQ to the downside. And it's exactly what we talked about on our notes is to that note what Adara just mentioned there. You know, strengthening Iran and Russia ties. That's not going to make president very happy. Also, the failed talks over the weekend and the fact that they did not send that little convoy over to Pakistan there, which is, I guess, unfortunate to some extent. But at the same time, they can get that done, as President Trump was saying over the phone. And so I'm hoping for something more of that. I mean, we want peace is what we would like. But that's okay if that's not there, because the market right here is a screaming short. And by the way, we continue to print it right here. Now we're 60 cents in the money on this trade as we continue to go down. And there it is. Daily goal has been met. On this move to go to the downside, we are looking at 208. We wrote down 208 as a potential long there for NVIDIA. But yeah, nice little comeback in. Look what happened, Joe. We touched day high again on NVIDIA. Almost all-time highs one more time there. We were within pennies of that. There, 212.10 we got to. We have written down as 212.19 as the all-time high there. Wow, for NVDA. Man, if you guys are with me, let's go. There it is, man. Back to the futures right now as we get going on this call. The call of the day for me on the note is right there. NVIDIA's coming in, so you can take that. Apple 270 short, we didn't get that price yet. And then Poet, we looked at that as a potential long on POET there, but we got to break through 11 is what I was looking for Poet to get going again. That does not happen, and that continues to make a little lower. But it takes one good trade, and I think we got one on right now. I'm putting another bid here at 66s. Maybe we can get that. There it is. We get it as we make new lows right now in the NASDAQ. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. You're not going to find a better trading show right there. What's up, Adam DeLuz? You might be right, man. I mean, we haven't been able to find really too much success here trading the futures as an individual trade, but you might be right, man. I really enjoy trading these, and there it is from Adam DeLuz. We are a futures trader at heart. I believe that's probably true right now. I like trading them because it's clean. You know, I like looking at individual stocks when there's stories. You know, like AMD with the downgrade, right? That's pretty interesting. But sometimes it's interesting to come in here, have an idea in mind. We were talking short all day. Everything on here is pretty much risk off besides NVIDIA. I mean, NVIDIA dropping down $4, we'll take that trade, which it's coming in right now. But I think you got to have some ideas there as well. So, here we go. 1,000 DOPS.
What's that? Dominican peso.
Ooh, Dominican peso.
Yeah.
We used some of those last week over there. Bullish or Sean, bullish or bearish on Apple? Bullish into earnings for sure. Based on technicals. Okay, we can have a quick look at that through earnings or not versus Amazon. Okay, 1 second. And would you hold through earnings or not versus Amazon? So I like Amazon better than Apple, especially with some of the news that we've heard today. And it's not that it's anything crazy. It's just, I think there's competition coming for Apple. And I don't think that that's anything that we should be afraid of as Apple investors. I mean, there's always somebody, the gun's pointed always at the top. And I think Apple always does have someone trying to eat their lunch. I mean, you know, they came out with the Apple Home. There was already the Google Home system there as well. Amazon has an Echo product. Apple came out with these AirPods. I believe that the Fold will be a decent opportunity for them. And I see a lot of Apple everywhere I go. So I'm pretty bullish into it. But technically, I think you do have an opportunity to drop into this 255 area where your 200 period moving average is. It's kind of fool's game a little bit sometimes to try to guess where earnings are going. But I don't hear that many red flags. It'd be interesting to hear a new CEO, right? So Tim Cook gone. This will be his last sort of quarter. And then we have Turnus coming in. So I don't know a whole heck of a lot.
I was going to say, how do you feel about essentially the front office change?
So unfortunately that story hit. I was going to actually ding for Adara at some point because that story hit while I was on vacation. I didn't really have too much of an opportunity to dig into what we thought about Apple's new leadership. But what do we know about him?
Well, I was going to say, I made an infographic about him like in early January when we first started seeing reports that this could be a thing. So I've been looking him up for a while. Basically, his entire work history is at Apple, more or less, but he's mostly known for hardware, which is leading some people to be concerned that he's not going to be the AI-focused leader people think Apple wants and or needs. Furthermore, though, with Turnus, this actually is, he's not going to be having an Apple quarter while he's CEO until the end of October. So the Q3 season, because we're not getting that turnover, I think, until September or October. So Cook's going to be in for a while. This is not going to be his last quarter. He'll have one quarter after that.
Okay. So we still have a little bit more Tim Cook, but I just wonder about, there's always the talk about, where's the new products coming from? Where's that sort of, development, product development? And then we heard, again, Dan Ives is still bullish on Apple. So we do have, some kind of a talk there that we can hold out hope that Apple starts to go. But to your question about Amazon, for me, Amazon is
that him?
Is him. So we can watch out for AMZN at some point in the future as well for a great little look there.
There goes the market, like right back.
Yeah, I was thinking about shorting a little bit more.
Yeah, right back to the top side. I mean, we're in this IBIT trade here, slowly starting to work for us. We have NVDA just below the volume-weighted average price, so let's see. I mean, that's a nice print there for a continuation to the downside on the NASDAQ. You can see an inverted hammer candle right around VWAP there. And we have a strong hammer essentially on volume, so I want to see if this low is going to hold up here, folks, and then maybe we can potentially find a long here in NVDA. NVDA. I mentioned, I think that this is the day that we break, maybe and hold, or at some time throughout the week. So I'm going to be patient and wait for a high quality opportunity to step in here with this name. But I think considering the run that we've seen in the chips, it's only a matter of time until this dog starts to participate. And AMD starting to climb a little higher as well too here, guys. So a lot going on. Bitcoin, we got our eyes on, and then Tesla. How have you been performing here today? Definitely on the weaker side, I'm pretty sure. So I think
Tesla's
it's the
been down 3%.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's the CapEx, right? Like, let's not beat around the bush. We know that Elon Musk is going to say, oh, it's only 25. Well, I mean, hey, when you only have 1.5 billion or something along relatively close to that number in free cash flow, that's not going to remain for long. Also, the deal with Intel is positive for Intel finally getting a big hyperscale customer, but I don't even have a bang or a siren or anything along those lines there, Sean, but there goes IBIT heading right in towards the volume-weighted average price. We'll take a couple of cents on that. We're going to hold on to it a little bit longer, considering we were out on the previous long, and then now we're waiting for it to break and hold, and then maybe this market can really get going here. But yeah, I'm liking what NVDA is up to here.
Yeah, the market is getting going. I've actually tightened up, like we said. I mean, this is why you got to cash out a little bit. And we said, you know, in a market when you get the ups and the downs, you got to be very, very careful with what exactly you're doing. So we don't reload this again until VWAP right now. And, you know, if we're going to be that futures trader, Adam, we got to have stops. So I'm going to wait here until, actually, I'm going to change this. I was going to stop out now, you know, basically breaking here. I'm going to give it to 70s. If this 200 period winds up breaking, then I'm happy to get out. So I'm going to get another bit in here around 62.55 and be very specific with sort of the entries and what we're trying to do here with this, because you never know where we're going to drop out of. And yeah, risky talk here with the TQs going back up to the upside. And, you know, potentially there, where did we say to get long on NVIDIA again? Oh yeah, 208. The low is 208.40s right there. So, you know, again, a little bit caught there with rose-colored glasses, thinking the market was potentially only going downside there, and we missed the opportunity to get long there on NVIDIA. So, I mean, again, if we stick with our notes, we did have that level written down there, and that's about it for me on NVIDIA and Apple. That can a little bit of a talk there with the futures as well going through. Check out on USO as we, again, the market's just bouncing right back up to VWAP. So there goes USO. Wow, that was a good short, eh? Like right
USO
there.
To the down, yeah. So that's probably helping the market too.
Right, that's helping the market get going big time right now. But there it is, 135 hits again. So you talk about trading off of support and resistance. I mean, how good does that look for support and resistance traders? Right there, hits the day's high again in the pre-market, hits it right here 10 minutes ago, and then the drop comes back through. So on a lack of information really today, when we don't see too much going on, we've got to watch out for USO and with oil. Poet, another big name running around, Joe. I mean, they're near the lows again. They're trying to break back down through $8. Wow, it's already 10 o'clock. So we're going to go over to Adara what's happening now, but there goes Poet breaking through $8 now down 47%. I never understand why these things don't halt the way they're supposed to, but there goes Poet, potentially looking for a halt right now. The only halt that I see is this EUDA right now. So EUDA, I have no idea. Volume 100,000 shares, not much going on, but this name has halted a couple times here today. EUDA on a little bit of a run to the downside right now on a halt. So, all right, over to Adara, what's happening now?
You look at the 15-minute chart, there's kind of a ho-hum opening for the NASDAQ. Now, as you can see, roughly range-bound first 15-minute candle, second 15-minute candle, we drop and then reclaim the entire move back to the upside. And as of right now, this third 15-minute candle just starting, pretty range-bound. That being said, again, if you look at it on these shorter time frames, we did get a big drop and a big pop coming back into neutral with that 663 halves level, certainly of note for the NASDAQ. Here's the SPY, looking roughly similar to the NASDAQ, though notably making a slightly lower high as we digest tons of geopolitical headlines and a lot of earnings previews, earnings down the pipeline for the week. As Sean mentioned, the Super Bowl of earnings, and I certainly would agree. We also have the FOMC meeting. It should be the last under Fed Chair Powell, should Warsh's confirmation go as planned. That meeting will take place on Wednesday, where the Fed is expected to hold rates neutral. Let's talk here at MSFT. Microsoft, big drop then nice recovery after announcing an amendment to its OpenAI partnership. It's no longer going to be giving OpenAI this revenue sharing deal. And then also OpenAI is allowed to use other cloud providers, though again, Microsoft remains the top cloud provider, I guess their preferred cloud provider, and also Microsoft still holding OpenAI shares. Then we've got QC, OM, Qualcomm is going to be on watch here. Now, this name has given up almost its entire gap up, now up only 3% on the day. Report from supply chain analyst Ming-Chi Kuo suggesting that the company is working with OpenAI to develop processors for an AI-powered smartphone, which of course would put it in competition with AAPL. Last but not least, USO looking pretty range-bound, much like the market, as we mentioned here. Lots of different headlines in the Middle East. We know President Trump announced that he canceled the trip for envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner to go to Pakistan to discuss a deal with Iran. That trip was canceled as of Saturday. Now, as of this morning, reports came out suggesting that Trump is going to be meeting with his security advisors to find out what the next step is going to be. That next step could potentially include resuming the strikes in Iran, though, of course, that step is not guaranteed. And if I get more details, I will keep you posted. Big morning, big day, big week. So where better to be than right here at Trader TV Live? Do make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content as we send you back over to the guys.
And big dogs, too, big dogs. And I think, you know what, you just mentioned Google. I mean, what are we at, all-time highs now? Boom. Yeah, all-time highs on Google. We were talking about the Amazons, the Metas, the NVDAs. I think this is the sleeper of all. I don't even know if we can call it a sleeper. I think it's going to be one of the best companies.
This dog is barking, man.
It's barking, man.
This is like my dog. I don't know what Milo does, but
all he does is bark. You have to get him a little buzz.
Yeah, I gave my dog to my parents, Belle, and she's just this little cockapoo.
Yeah.
And my mom said that they basically, just a joke, that they canceled the security system at their house.
Yeah, you have to.
The minute that's anybody's approaching the front door, these poor Amazon guys.
Man.
I'm sure they can tell by the bark that it's not a vicious one, but we definitely know when we're getting a delivery around my house. But so stupid, because remember we were talking about going long on Google down there, but I was short on the Qs. And I was like, well, I don't necessarily want to go long on Google because we're thinking this market might be a downside play. Yeah, thanks, Sean. That was a good play there. Only up $6 since we made that last call. So I think to your point, man, Google remains pretty strong and one of those names that we want to look at and definitely have in your portfolio. I mean, if they're going to be buying up dips, then, who are we to say that that's not the right play?
Things up 30%. Since the beginning of the month.
Oh, yeah, Google, absolutely on fire. I mean, you even mentioned AMD and stuff like that, up 70% in a month. Can Google and Netflix and all of them go as well? I mean, talk about Netflix. Netflix with a little bit of a spot here right now. Oopsies. Oh, man, our charts, man. We got to get that organized. But right into here, this could be a spot. We talked about where the setups are. I actually think Netflix has a good opportunity to get going through the high side. I think they are a net beneficiary. Of AI. I mean, curating lists for you to be able to watch stuff that, potentially forcing you to watch stuff that you like. It's like an algorithm like TikTok, right? I mean, once people start to get on it and they start showing you all the information and what you like, it just keeps on pumping through. So as long as content can keep coming out with Netflix, I actually like the levels that Netflix is at here through earnings, and not great. Obviously fell back in on that little play there, but the billions of dollars, what was it, 8.7 billion, I think it was, or something like that they got as a breakup fee.
It's like 2 billion. It was like
2.7 or something.
It was near 3 billion, but it was under 3 billion. I think around 2.8.
I think it was 2.8 then. Had the numbers mixed up. 8.2, 2.8.
Yeah.
So I think they take that, put that in their pocket, invest that into more live sports. Live sports are so hot right now. I mean, I don't even, it's just like, I know we're in Canada, NHL playoffs are here right now, but I mean, how much more do you watch when something means something? Like we're watching the playoffs more than regular season. And I think once YouTube gets Oscars as well, so that's coming up, and then more games for Netflix, more opportunities for that. I really like the space. I think as content remains king, you do see that live is the next big thing there. So I really like Netflix.
What's not really talked about that much right now is the Raptors. Like the Raps are playing. We're not really going on
making some money on the Raptors a little bit.
You are? Nice.
Yeah. I had them both at the home.
Nice.
They play way better at home than on the road.
Than on the road.
So that was sort of a little bit
tie that series up.
Yeah, that's 2-2. I think they could beat Cleveland right now. You want to talk about a good bet? I mean, that's a plus 380 right now, series bet.
That is.
So your boy is all over that as well. So plus 380. All right, so TQ's coming down in. Believe it or not, man. Believe it or not. Is that home? Where's that from again? I don't even know. But here we go. Nice move down into view up. Guess where we're sitting? Right there. At the 25 period moving average. That's right where we're sitting, and we get missed. We're at 16s, we get missed right there. So hopefully the TQs continues a little bit of a downside push right there so we can put some money back into our pocket. But yeah, the market just really doing nothing right now, and I'm getting a little anxious. So I want to get a little more if we can come up to the top here. But doesn't it look like the TQs is relatively strong here? I don't want to put on a whole bunch of shares. Getting a little nervous about this. Cavs will win, eh?
There we go, Kane. There we go. Continue, man. We take a little off there.
Here we go. We got some IBIT going on.
We got IBIT. Strong move, man. We only take 20% off. We're going to wait and hold some for that 44.20 break here potentially. But a nice strong uptick, volume supporting that move as well. So, yeah, a couple big moves here. I mean, the Q is starting to hover. I know you're short at the end.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you had the nice trade off the get, but we have some of the larger names. It's Google, man. It's the absolute beast and monster, which Google is, as it's still hovering around those highs. Continuation is a whole different question. As we did uptick, we failed to breach it. So now establishing a lower high on IBIT. We'll sit in this a little bit longer. We only took 20% off on this one.
All right, I was just, I'm trying to find the visual. Do you have the visualizer up?
No, I don't have nothing, man. I just got onto this domain. I got to get all those.
I got it. Hopefully we'll be able to show it. There it is. Thank you. Look at this, man. Andre,
how's the,
Andre is just a man.
He is the man. How's the new team?
They only played one game, and it was just a very, very. They actually lost to Guelph 2-1, but that was yesterday, the first time they'd played together. Thanks for asking, and I just hope she doesn't break.
How's she?
She breaks another. If she breaks another stick, I swear to God.
Well, I know. I seen the one that you just.
I can't anymore. I can't anymore.
Brother, I'm telling
you, the TQs needs a tank.
Yo, so a couple of seasons ago, I don't know what it was, but I was just going through sticks like they were going out of style.
You can go back to the 2-shot here on.
Right, like so. Essentially, what I was like, dude, they were only lasting a week and a half, and I was just, and I don't buy the most expensive.
Right,
$100, right, is my cap on them because they just break essentially.
What do you buy for $100?
Oh, you gotta know where to go to get.
No, I do know where to go.
You're not getting that at Hockey Stick, man. I'll tell you that for sure.
Where are you getting $100 sticks from?
Tire.
No, man, you're buying like these wood sticks.
No, I'm not, dude. I'm telling you right now, you can get the CCM tax. You can get the tax and another CCM. The rib core.
Yeah, the rib core.
You can get like it's like 85 plus tax, $100.
Hey, man, I believe you. Many wouldn't. I do.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so let's go back to the visualizer just really quickly right there. But yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, she's loving hockey. Tonight's the parent meeting. So the coach is going to meet with all the parents, and that's when I got to write the big check, I imagine.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's about $6,000 for the year. All right, so didn't CRML have news? I believe it did, so we can look at some
acquisition news. Yeah, and they've just been like stacking up companies recently. They announced recently that's going to be their strategy, so another acquisition for CRML.
Yeah, about $865 million. 39. There we go, so we're right there. Thank you for that, Adara. Okay, SNDK. Oh, this is a little bit see-through right here. GME, CAR. Oh, Avis. Okay, let's have a quick look at Avis. Avis has been a stock. By the way, let's go, NASDAQ. Come on, baby. Come into the 15. I'm bidding 15s now. Oh, he got filled. Okay, we got filled.
Big scale. Right. This is not Assassino. This is Sean. This is Katina, man. That's not Assassino.
I'm an assassin as well.
Yeah, okay, you know, stock market assassin. Oh, whoa. That's it, man. Show's done now. Show's done. No. Yeah, the market's...
so I have to... He does a good point, man. I cannot... That's his name.
That is
I will not. Why, did someone say that in the chat?
Every time that ding comes in, I think it's Adara about to chime in.
First of all, what are you feeling about espresso? You want to get Randy involved here pretty soon?
Oh, brother, I'm still milking this one here.
Yeah, me too.
We got the jitters. I sip these,
maybe we should get a fresh one.
No.
People want to see Randy. I'm trying to get Randy.
Okay, we'll get Randy out here.
You got too many over there?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a single and then I put in a double.
With the caffeine or what?
I think they
those your real, what, you have contacts in or?
No.
Oh, you got like light brown eyes?
Yeah.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah. As I stare into Joe's eyes. I don't know if I've ever sat this close to you before, so that's nice. Yeah, my new obsession with Joe there. We got a little bromance going on over here. Very nice. Okay, so Joe, I mean, we were just celebrating sort of the TQs make the move higher there. We did not. We were close, man. We were at 62.50. We were waiting for that to come in. We don't get that. But boom, bang.
Oh Oh my God.
Oh my God.
They're falling back in a little bit here. So
Yeah.
oh my God, a little bit there. Shout out to Adara. There's oh my God, right there. As that move's coming back in, and then we do have Sia's going to be making her appearance relatively soon. I think maybe on the midday. I'm not sure when she'll be there.
I think just before last time I seen her, we had a nice Intel infographic on there.
Yeah. I hope you guys are enjoying.
She's locked in over there.
Hope you're enjoying Joe and myself as we continue to hopefully entertain and have a good time here.
Yeah, you got me blushing, Katina, man, apparently.
Hey, man, it happens to many.
Well, see, it's the same thing, right? As soon as you start gazing into the eyes, it's just, it's over. Right? It's over.
Thanks for not saying anything about my eyes, though, Joe.
No,
I see it only goes one way. It's fine.
I can't complicate your TQ short anymore, brother.
No, it's okay. That doesn't matter. It's more about the eyes, you know. But all right, so Tesla, as we have a great time. The thing is Tesla right now 365 and going lower. Right now for TSLA. So, you know, this name can't catch a bid despite what the NASDAQ is doing right now, trying to get a little bit of a bid up. Tesla is at the lows right now, down 3% and trying to get a little bit lower. I mean, I like that IBIT trade that you're working on as we get back up into, are we supposed to go to Adara? Back up, nope, okay, good. Back up into 78,000. For Bitcoin. So we'll see if that can get going. On a little bit of a drop down, obviously the market's retracing in a little bit now again. We still do like, now I can just confirm it. We do have NVIDIA written down here as along. My number one, I don't really rank these, but it's like the first thing that comes to my mind. I put at the top, and then we went to the NASDAQ short there, which is the only trade we have on, which has been pretty good so far. I wish it could get a little bit better. But the NVIDIA now, we can justify it long there at 208. So as we watch out for our sticky note here, NVIDIA 208, we have Apple 270 short is what we're talking about there. And then this name at the very bottom is Poet. So we'll see if Poet can get going a little bit. Thanks, Andre. Nice little cool look there for the note. So that's what we're talking about there today. And is that Fabian over there?
Yeah, it is Fabian.
Oh, it's Fabian.
Hey, Fabian.
Oh, this whole time. Oh, okay, my bad. I was like, what's going on over there? And then just quickly, there's the family and
that's not all right.
No, that's not what I wanted to show. I wanted to actually show this because I wanted to find out what other traders were looking at real quick, and then we can show some family stuff. So, you know what? Joe, why don't we do a favor? Why don't you look at Robinhood quickly?
Absolutely.
So we'll look at Robinhood real quickly there. Starlink, a nice little ad there. So for Starlink. Surge the Cat also looking at TQs. That's good there. Neary looking at, let's have a look at PLTR. We did get a good number from Verizon this morning. They were up 4%. We'll have a quick little look over there. You're shorting Domino's. Domino's was in the note today for us as well. What's up here? Heather, I believe. Is great follow and a great trader there as well. Micron, CRML, and then Tesla. So a couple good ideas. You guys can go find me there on X, and we'll be able to discuss some more ideas as they come through. But what about Robinhood? We kind of left that alone a little bit.
Sean, I've been in this. Okay, there we go. Bang. We'll catch another fill at 15s here on IBI. Continuing to climb. Bang, 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 bang. No, as for Robinhood, Sean, it was participating in that rally, right? Like you get 44% off of that $64 low, and you climb into that $92 mark. But if we're talking about the grand scheme of things, you're still down 45, so you're almost cutting half off of the highs. I like everything that Robinhood has to do. If we're going into tokenization of actual assets and the tokenization of equities, Robinhood's going to be at the front of that. Obviously, we have the PDT rule coming into play, adding a tailwind into this name. So I like it. We've seen it in Webull. You're getting a little bit of a bounce on that name as well, too. So I like Robinhood, but the thing is, it's been hit heavy, right? Like, was it overvalued over here at $150? I've been in this name since it was $40, essentially. I was fortunate enough to participate in that, but as a shareholder and someone who sold a little bit at 122 and then bought a little bit more at 119, where we're currently sitting at, isn't looking too pretty. I would like to see some more of a recovery, but from a technical standpoint, you do have some trend lines being broken, right? So that's the start. You got to start somewhere. You got to walk before you can run, and I think that's kind of where we're sitting at here with Robinhood in aspects in kind of conversations just due to the fact of a full-on recovery. It's going to take a little bit longer, and it may not ever get back to those levels. We have the tie and the correlation between Robinhood and Bitcoin. I want to see that decouple a little bit more, just considering I think it's so much more. There's options activity, and I talked about the tokenization of everything in private equity you can get access to over in Europe. So yeah, a lot going on for this name. At some point it will. It's just a question of how long, I think, with the Robinhood.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Robinhood. I mean, I bought a little bit more SoFi. I like SoFi's business a little bit better because of the banking side of it, but I do understand that, hey, I think you got one, especially if you're a little bullish on crypto.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the way that crypto's been moving lately, we do have a great opportunity there to get crypto names back into the old account there. I got to go to Turkey one day. Apparently.
Brother, just join the crew. I think I've been thinking.
If someone works for a Turkish hair transplant thing, I think we
Wait, you could get it done here.
Can you though?
Yeah.
Of course you could.
Yeah.
Wondering what the price.
Well, I mean, you got to take into consideration.
I think I can't get it done now. It's too long. I should have got it done a while ago.
You just need more. So it goes like, apparently, I was looking into it. So it's yeah. So it's a matter of like how many of like the little follicles.
Yeah. I think I need probably too many.
Yeah. So you're probably sitting around the 10,000 mark. I think
Jesus Christ, that sounds like a lot.
6,000, right? So I mean,
that sounds like a lot.
It's $1 a follicle. I think it's going for right now.
$1 a follicle. Man, you've really done some research into this.
Okay,
man. I'll do it if you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Why doesn't someone sponsor Joe and I?
Yeah,
we'll get it done, man. We'll take the trip. Hey, I saw some ads in Cancun also as well.
You can
All right, me and you, man. Let's go.
Let's go. Prestige worldwide,
get that
man.
done. Okay, so the market is coming back in a little bit, which is nice. So the TQs is starting to print. I mean, I'm just trying to get a little bit out here. You know, we've had a sort of a good morning so far shorting this, but we are looking for some more opportunities. So put them there in the car. That's what it was. Avis.
What's that?
We were trying to have a little look there. Avis was a big short, right? I mean, we did have that report over there the last couple of days. So let's go have a quick look at what the short flow was. I wanted to say it was in the 30s, but before I say that, I know it was popular last week, and I was only in here on Friday. Let's go. Sorry, we got to go into details over here. CAR. Interesting name. I mean, I love that name. 2 days from now, so they do have earnings in 2 days, Wednesday the 29th there, before our market open. Where is the short float? What? Why can't I find? Oh, it's because I've zoomed in before on this. Short flow, there it is. 46% short right now for AVIS. So we can have a quick little look at that right now. As the S&P futures are up right now, down right now. NASDAQ is also down. Is that right? Is the S&P up? Yeah, so S&P's flat, about 0.7. NASDAQ down right now, 0.29. But yeah, whenever you're looking at a high short float, sometimes this is what could happen, and it's a complete dumpster fire there. Dara, what was going on here with Avis? I don't remember it being this dramatic.
So that is exactly what the move was. We did not have any news to explain it. Very likely a short squeeze. There is a very, very long but detailed and I think pretty good piece on X by a trader named The Short Bear, kind of breaking down some of what might be happening here. But basically, I guess just very moneyed people involved in bringing this to the upside. Eventually, the bow must break, and the cradle did in fact fall.
Okay. So,
wasn't that your dream side gig? Used car salesman?
Yeah. No. I'll be the other way. I want to be the guy that haggles with them.
Okay, you like the.
Because I saw some business. Yeah. No, someone put it out, and it was like they're hired by people to go and get a better deal. So it's like,
okay, yeah.
Let's just say you pay 50 grand for your car. I'd be like, I can get it for 48.
Okay, yeah.
And then we split the difference.
But like that, what's that term that we use in sports? That middleman. Come on, man, help me out.
Agent?
No.
Middleman. Arbitrator?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I want to do that. I think that's fun. I don't know. Anyways, even when you're there, and you're on the beach in Mexico or something like that, and the guy
trying to get a lower price.
Yeah, just whatever, man. I mean, just little things like you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to pay fair value for it, but or like ticket scalper maybe might be in play there as well. So but Avis, I mean, well destructed now. I mean, I think that if you are looking for something, the 200 period moving average has always been something that we like. So down to the downside there. For that as we keep on going back and forth. We're waiting for new IPOs to hit, right? I mean, we're going to have to hopefully have SpaceX coming pretty soon, Anthropic coming soon. We're looking for OpenAI. But guess what, man? We just took another money fill, man. The schmackers came in there into $62. So right there is a nice little pullback in. We'll wait to see how much we can get on this trade, but looking for more always. Quickly look on Marvell and then back over to the desk because Adara's got an update for us. Marvell, as we said, we mentioned this name earlier. It sucks because I do own it, but at the same time, at least we talked about it. Some of these names that are getting heated up, like an AMD, unfortunately for everybody, fortunately, Intel continues to go higher, but Marvell down 5 points today, 5%, as well as our good friend AMD, which was down 4 the last we checked. It looks like it's bouncing a little bit now, down 3 and a bit. All right, over to Adair for the big desk, and then we'll be right back over here.
Time to go over some of these small cap movers. So let's kick it off here with USEG. Also interesting and kind of rare lately. This is a day where all of these small caps have their own individual catalysts. So nice look here. USEG signing a 5-year helium offtake agreement with an investment-grade global leader in industrial gases. So good look here for USEG, especially with that pre-market move to the upside. You've got about a $74 million market cap and a short float of just under 10%. That is a name as well that we've heard of and talked about before. I'll move this. You can see the price action a bit better, but ONCO is actually on our watch list today, and I failed to mention on our watch list, they have a catalyst. Andrew Oakley has resigned as the board's chairman. This was announced after the bell on Friday, with Sammy Dorf appointed as chairman of the board, effective, I guess, retroactively as of Thursday, so the day before this was announced. ONCO on watch with that in mind. They underwent a reverse split as of the end of March, so recent reverse split play with a $540,000 market cap, 580,000 share float, and a 40% short float. So pretty large short float, especially given how small that float is there for ONCO. Last but not least, YAAS, Yaoshin Technology on watch again. Day one catalyst today, acquiring 18% of the equity interest in YATOP in consideration of $10.8 million. You've got a $17 million market cap for YAAS with a 2 million share float. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, you're just in Bitcoin. We're in this other name over here. CAR was named CRML on a deal today as well, critical metals. So we'll see if that gets going. I mean, I do like the critical metal space. We've talked about the investments in Lithium America for the United States government, as well as MP Materials, possible look there. That's the one that the United States is in. There's a CRML with a small little $865 million purchase today of some company. But that's moving around up 4% right there. All right, just let's look back at SoFi because I'm interested in this $19 break. We did break it earlier. We're not really doing a whole heck of a lot right now at that level. So maybe a look here for our good friend SoFi trying to bounce off. I mean, I would like to get this thing into 1865 if the market does, decent year. If the market does decide to come back in right into there, that could be a little bit of something for SoFi. So we don't mind that kind of a play either. You know, Meta on that possible Manus acquisition there, Chinese government trying to block that a little bit so we could see if Meta gets going. This could be another name that really, I mean, in Zuckerberg we trust or not, but you know, we're going to see them come through their report, and this is another name that really has a great opportunity to get right back to the upside of 780. I mean, these hyperscalers, if they continue to spend and can show actual, like what are you going to do when Meta starts showing a profit based on all this spend? Then it's going to justify the whole thing, and then it's gonzos, right? Because what you've already spent in the data center is gone. And that's, the stock is already liking it. So as long as we can now start to prove that, hey, some of these investments are starting to pay off with either new products or, you know, some kind of a positive story there, I think Meta can absolutely fly. To me, the biggest risk short is Meta. Doesn't mean I like it for the long the most. I think it's the biggest risk short into this week is Meta. Bill Ackman, Pershing Square IPO set to raise $5 billion. I think if I ask Adara, she may have different questions about that.
Yeah, like I said, they can have this IPO, but also they like to kind of trick us and be like, we're going to have an IPO, and then, oh, never mind, we aren't going to have an IPO. So allegedly this will happen, and I mean, in all seriousness, congrats if you take this IPO and you do well. I'm not trying to diss the IPO. I'm just trying to bring up the very real fact that Bill Ackman has pulled a fast one on us with this Pershing IPO.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that because when that story was first brought out, we didn't really know anything about that kind of headline. So thanks to Dara for paying attention to everything news related. And if you are, you know, looking for news and things like that, you found the right spot. Anything that hits the wires, it's been a relatively slow day. Adara will get us that almost too fast sometimes, and we gotta wait for that story to develop. And then just like in Microsoft today, if you waited for this story to develop and tried to actually understand what the tie-up between Microsoft and OpenAI and what this all means, you missed it, because Microsoft dips down 4%, Joe. You know, for Microsoft, which is a $3 trillion company, to be dipping down 4%, that's quite the move. And then all the way back up to basically Greensville again. We're getting lighter and lighter on this Q's position. I don't know what to do other than to buy out of this name, because the market's not doing too much, and I don't want to give it all back on a potential move higher. So, all right. You want to do something?
I would love to hit the bang, but I can't. But what we were waiting for to formulate here, Sean, was a new high on IBIT.
And you got it, man.
So we'll take a little bit off. They were posted up at 16s. I think it's going to continue to climb. But I think we're going somewhere, aren't we?
Yeah, let's go over to the big screen. We'll see ya.
See you.
We're going to take a look and deeper dive into Qualcomm. We did hear the news today, which I will get to later, but let's take a quick dive about their timeline. So in 1985, the company was founded by 6 to 7 founders. Then we had the PDQ-CDMA smartphone come in the year 1998, which Qualcomm was widely known for, which was the first wireless smartphone. Then in 2007, we had the Snapdragon processor come in that did help high-performance smartphone computing. And then in 2020, we had the 5G boom. Now, this was a time when 6G Foundry was also taking place by the company. And like I said, the 6G Foundry did take place around that time, but initial research was also developing. Then during that time in the year 2024 was when Qualcomm's stock was performing really well, was trading around the $200 region. And coming to today, we have that partnership with OpenAI. The companies have not commented directly on this, but it's coming from an analyst comment and news agencies reporting that it's partnering with OpenAI to produce certain smartphone mobile chips. Now, it's no surprise that we know OpenAI was already wanting to tap into that smartphone market. And that's all. Sending it back to you.
All right, thanks. Yeah, good reporting there on Qualcomm. And today we get the Qualcomm news. And look at this, man. This was up 14% when we first sat down here today. It was up to 170, and there goes Qualcomm right back into 148. So, you know, we talked about how, you know, this new OpenAI phone was potentially quarters, months, years away from, you know, actually getting developed and actually being put out there. Not only do you have to build the product, but then you also have to make sure that there's enough demand for that product. And I'm not sure there would be, especially, well, who knows? But with Apple working on getting that Siri rollout and then finally going to implement either Gemini, or I thought the report maybe on Apple was that you could play nice with almost all the LLMs. So that's going to be something interesting. I'm very excited to see what that looks like, their new AI chip as well into Apple phones. So that created a little bit of a downside push here for Apple initially there today. But as you can see, with Qualcomm going one way, Apple kind of going the other there as we wait to see some absorption of that news story. So thanks, Sia, for that infographic. Is that infographic up anywhere, or maybe not yet? Maybe I'll post it on mine, or TTV Researcher will put it up soon. But okay, so Intel, guess what, man? Unbelievable note that we wrote down there, and this was on Friday's sticky note. And again, I'm going to go try to look for that right now, because people were like, man, you wrote down 87 on Friday on Intel, long top break. Well, Joe, my friend, and everybody else, Intel just went right to 87 again and failed right back there. So now that is back-to-back jacks, back-to-back days where we had an 87 look there and fail off of 87. So if this mark, if I say 87 again, then you know, maybe it means something.
Say it one more time.
All right, if we get an 87 break the next time, maybe that would be something that we'd be interested in. So we're going to continue to pay attention to said break there of 87, and we'll see if that can happen. I do like the fact that you're pulling back into VWAP though on Intel. Could be a good buy spot there in and around $85. So we'll wait to see if that does happen. The amazing Dallas Business Fed Index. Joe. Do not take any positions. We have 40 seconds, just joking. We have 40 seconds left until that does hit. And boom shakalaka. We do get another Texas? No.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorites.
We'd like to go to Texas for sure. We do have a good friend of Neil and ours, from high school.
Was that,
was
is that,
in my wedding
is that
party.
your Ethereum millionaire? Is that the
No, that guy's chilling in Italy right now. Yeah, he went there to realize no taxes on his $450 million.
I mean, that's real smart.
Yeah, so he's chilling out in God's country for a minute. But no, one of our other friends is also very much a genius, a doctor, actually liver transplant surgeon.
Oh, wow.
Down there at Baylor.
Okay.
Yeah, so a good friend of ours.
Oh, okay, Baylor.
And he talks really, actually he built what would be in Toronto considered like a mansion. For I think it was under $1 million.
Right, yeah.
And I looked at the house, I was like, dude, that's like, you know, you're like Drake status over here with that. But shout out to everybody in Texas. It's definitely a spot.
I don't know if did you see our boy George Springer put his house up for sale?
No, I did not.
Okay, so yeah, he's done that.
He's in retirement mode soon, I think.
Yeah, and anyways, I'm gonna say,
bought it?
No, I wish I could. You know what he was asking? My boy on my hockey team, he's actually the listing agent.
I'm looking for a new spot.
Okay, well, are you ready to drop
a 5 schmil?
Like 6.8, yeah?
Well, I can negotiate.
Yeah, all right, yeah, let's see.
No.
I know. I
mean, unless you got some cash that I could borrow, then no.
Do you want to go half on it, or?
I can't even. I can't even go a third. Over there.
We'll get some
but
investment.
if this trade continues to work out, let's go. Come on, Springer, holler at your boy.
It's funny because sorry to interrupt you, but you have the TQs going short, and this IBIT long is still working out for us right now. So yeah. You're going short, I'm going long, and we have both these trades. It's boom, I don't even have the bang, Sean, as we put in a new high of the day right there on IBIT. Let's see if we can continue.
Yeah, we're doing something special here as the market comes back in as well. So there goes the TQQs fading back out. So this is going to be the trade that I have based on today. I did like that Google, but Google touched 350 and it's still hovering. So here's 350, man, a great level for Google. This, I believe, is now all-time highs on GOGL right now. We trade Google versus Goog, just a difference in share class and a little more volume on Google. So if you're always looking here and wondering why we're looking one way and not the other, I like just the more volume on this name. So that's something that we look at. We did have good earnings today, and I said I like the earnings there from Verizon. I like the net new subs number that they put up. So Verizon today up 3%. Was up 4 and a bit at its highs. Verizon doing pretty good though, holding out at that 47.60. Another good earnings name as here we go. They all fall down and we go a little market red now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not a great Kanye thing. I was more doing the that's one of his better ones, I think. I really like the Graduation there. I mean, a great album.
That's the best one.
Yeah,
Graduation is the best Kanye album, and my high school grad cake was the Kanye Grad Bear. I do not know how I made my parents, like how they let me do that, but shout out to Kanye.
Yeah, there we go, man. Shout out to Kanye West for sure. Definitely like Kanye. The only guy, I mean, this guy did $480 million on a concert that he gave 5 days announcement to. He went back-to-back days there in SoFi, sold out 80,000 seats, despite his rants and whatnot still going on. Kanye West, still one of the top draws in concert land, that is for sure.
Yeah, because I
don't know. How was Coachella when you went this year?
I was going to ask you that. But I mean, that's where you secretly went instead of you went to Coachella.
That's exactly
and you bought. Did you see some of those Airbnbs going for like 38?
Oh, I know. I saw a whole bunch of people complaining too, like, oh, I spent all this money on an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Well, you're the one that spent all the money.
Exactly. I mean, come on, man. But I mean, it's LA. I wouldn't be surprised if those people.
Our boy Justin Bieber though continues to outshine at those events. So shout out to the Biebs right there. Okay, yeah, more outs there. Intel, a little bit of a pullback there. We're looking to maybe buy off of some VWAP there, but there's the dip down. We did not get involved. Now it's a 200 period moving average as Joe goes high side right there. I don't have a Joe money bag, but there we go, man. Keep that money in your. There it is, man. Nice call there on IBIT. Hey, you and I are just secretly here 2 for 2. I mean.
I'm 50%. I'm
what else did you have early?
Just the same one, right? Out on one, we take a stop out, and then we re-engage, right? So yeah. So you're 2 for 2?
No, I'm 1 for. I was saying I only traded
together.
the Q short. I thought you only had the IBIT long there, but you're
combined,
in.
Still
you're in,
66%.
We're in. It's not too bad.
It's a good.
Right there. All right, so that's Intel to the downside. What else you guys want to talk about? Let's go look at Poet. This was a name here that they got hit on the Marvell news. Marvell cancels a bunch of contracts, or the whole the whole kit and caboodle, I think, on Poet, right there saying hard pass no moss on their services. So Poet now down 50% there. They did have that run up on similar news there, getting more and more contracts. And I apologize, I'm not sure exactly their frame of business, but they do have a cancellation there from Marvell today, downside there for Poet. And I do think that that is leaning a little bit on Marvell today because, again, if business is strong and things like that, it's not very often that you would cancel contracts. So Marvell downside push there today, down 5%. The name for me is going to continue to be Amazon on watch. We really like what Amazon's doing these days, taking out new highs. And, you know, you don't get huge market cap names moving like this, but Amazon says, yes, you do. As that continues to go higher, Google still holding out through 350. Your look at IBIT might lead me towards a Coinbase as well on a day like today. $200, decent spread though. That's often not considered by me when I'm trading Coinbase. You gotta, if you're gonna have a stop, give yourself a little bit of room because Coinbase 30 to 40 cent spread can be pretty nasty as well, but they're trying to break through VWAP as that's getting going. And then we did have our good friend JKL talking about MSTR today, looking for that short. So we'll see if anything can kick out for Marvell as well. Sorry, for MicroStrategy. As you have the IBIT long, so obviously MicroStrategy kicking a little higher. Like what's IBIT up today? Just 1% or so, or a little bit less?
410.
410. So yeah, there you go. So almost up, you know, 0.5% there, as opposed to MicroStrategy there, or not just strategy, sorry, up 1.5%. And SPY trying to battle back, as is the NASDAQ, right? So we'll just continue to cover a little bit here and dance with the devil on some of these shorts because they haven't been printing great. We did have that initial move. Wow, there's a nice, wow. Oh, there's a spike up here. So now the market's starting to go off. Adara is on top of all of this. Big, huge spike up right there in the market. We're still waiting for our order to come in here around 40s for the TQs. We'll short a little bit here at 30 because of that bump up, but we're not sure what's going on there. We'll take a little bit of a short. We're waiting for 40s, believe it or not. Actually, we're waiting for 38s that we don't get. It goes to 37s, but a nice little move up there in the market. This is where you got to be sort of risk on a little bit,
spike up.
Risk off a little bit here before you hear the news. So we'll cancel some of our orders. We'll see if we get a 62.40 fill. We're out of this name at 62.50. We've changed it. We break through this 200 period. I'm out of the TQQs on a little bit of a spike up there in the market.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a big-time spike up there in Bitcoin as well. Something that wasn't breaking down with the overall market, and then we're fortunate enough to reload. We have to talk about no hesitation nation and just get right back in when you're feeling something. Liquidity grabs south at these support levels, and then we just hop right back in. Boom, 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 and off to the races. We wait for that one-to-one risk to reward. Comes back against us. I'm like, oh, no, don't do this to us, IBIT and Bitcoin. And then, boom. So I'm not sitting on anything, guys. About 5% left on this one position. Sean had that. I think with these, see, the thing is, guys, when we see these moves, the chances of them getting faded, like it's a pop, you fade it. If it sells off, you buy the dip. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start to come back in. And there, yeah, exactly. And there it is, Sean. A nice 5-minute indecision print right at these lows. I know our boy Gorev here. He's reloaded there. Our boy Gorev is long some NVDA. A nice move off of that high. It still didn't breach this 10 o'clock pivot there, Sean, on the TQQQ. So looking pretty good for you there. And we're sitting in this Bitcoin. No point in us actually kind of roaming around and scrolling for some other things when we're just managing what we have on. It was literally in the span of a couple of seconds. Sean's like, hey, what is IBIT up today? I'm like 0.4%. And then boom, right at this highs, you're closer to 0.8. So it just doubled right there. So a nice move, 0.6 now, looking like we're going to continue to climb. Let's see how this market reacts to this move. Definitely a headline coming in. We'll send it off to Adara when she's ready to go.
Sorry to disappoint you guys. There's no headline. There's not even anything resembling a headline. I have nothing for you as of right now, so we'll do the sector watch, and if I see a headline pop up, I will keep you all posted. But worth noting, sometimes these pops don't have anything to do with headlines, and if that's the case, that's completely fine as well. We'll take a look here at this sector board. Tons of weakness right off the bat I can see here in producer manufacturing with AMAT, GEV, and LRCX all down at least 3% each. Consumer durables, Tesla to the downside here, but the rest of the sector relatively flat. Health tech, you have Eli Lilly and Johnson & Johnson both struggling. Consumer services with some weak spots, including McDonald's and Marriott. Non-energy minerals, NEM, Newmont, earnings day 2, down 3% in a sector that looks pretty red across the board. And last but not least, in terms of weakness, electronic tech, you've got names like Micron and Intel up 4% and 2% respectively. But then Apple to the downside here, we know Qualcomm competing with them potentially and working with OpenAI for that competing AI smartphone. Broadcom to the downside, Arista Networks to the downside, KLAC to the downside, Texas Instruments earnings day 4, I believe, to the earnings day 3, sorry, to the downside. Then you've got strength though in tech services, in finance, in transportation, and for the most part in health services. Back to tech services for a second. We talk a lot about these SaaS moves. One day they're down, the next day they're up. Today they are to the upside with CRM and Palo Alto Networks each up nearly 3%. CrowdStrike did get an upgrade this morning. That's down just shy of, up just shy of 2% today. Do make sure to like and subscribe as we send you back over to the guys.
Yeah, thank you for that. Wow, it's 10:40 already. Sean, we were talking about MSTR. You actually pulled that name up. Adara brought us this morning as well. Strategy, another 3,200 Bitcoin for 255 million. So, I mean, it's only a matter of time until this guy hits a million Bitcoin. Going to be one of the top holdings in the largest wallets that there is. But I keep forgetting what his preferred note stock ticker is. But do you know what he's doing? So this preferred thing is just like essentially it hits 19, he sells it, they buy more Bitcoin, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that. Yeah. I mean, there is some financial restructuring happening there. We did catch a little bit of the cues. Yeah. What was it? Okay, we'll talk about that symbol in just a minute. But for right now, we do have to remind everybody that, of course, the markets have been extremely active lately. And for traders, this kind of environment creates, of course, opportunity. Big moves means more setups and more momentum. But to really take advantage of these conditions, you need two things: discipline and access to capital. And that's where Trade the Pool comes in. Instead of being limited by the size of your own account, traders can access firm capital like we do on the show and focus on executing their strategy and managing risk. No more fear of blowing up your own personal accounts. No more moving your stop loss too early because you're scared about your own savings. This is what we call limited risk trading. So if you want to take advantage of the volatility in today's markets, be careful and join up with tradethepool.com. Scan that QR code, get 10% off, and join us at tradethepool.com. Scan that QR code to become part of the Trade the Pool team. So there it is right there. I hope you guys are interested in joining them up, and we want to thank Trade the Pool for their continued sponsorship of this segment. So to your point, or to that point, Joe and I do trade here on a prop floor. We are with Real Trading, the same company that I've been with for 24 years and never missed a payment, never anything like that. And we introduced crypto trading to the platform as well as we introduced options trading very soon. Yeah. My guy over here, Joey Options. I keep telling you, don't look it up until we tell you because you get excited. Yeah, and we're waiting for that to come through, and we will have a major announcement on that very, very soon. Joe may be making said announcement. All right, so nice move down on the TQs. I just told Joe, man, we were 1 cent away again from getting that short. Just sitting right into here, man. I was waiting at 38. It went to 37. Honest truth there, does not come in for me, but that's okay. We took a little bit when we realized we missed it. We punched a little bit short there, so we did get reloaded on that TQQQ position as we get into the downside. So that was good, but the market's still a little sleepy time right now. Eli Lilly's had a little bit of a rough ride. This is a pick that I've made in the account right now. It's OB1. I'm number 2. Joe's hovering around there as well with our yearly.
Yeah, pull that thing
up. You want to pull that thing up there? I haven't even looked at it today.
What do we got? Where's your voice in there?
I should be technically right here. So it was OB right there, 25%. I'm at 9%. Adara, Randy, Joe. So you're the last one. You're at zeros right now. 0.7.
I should be 4.
Let me zoom this in a little bit. This is what we're all up right now. And then as we go to the downside, don't show this to Neil. He's very, very sensitive. Down 6, no, just joking. Down 16% right there as we go. I've just been saved by the Marvell. Big Bear AI, we took a shot, at that one. And we, you guys know we're long at $4.20. That's still down. Eli Lilly was just smoking one right there, down 18%. And just because Joe's here, we'll do this as well. You're much more level-headed portfolio exactly. Right there with your boy Walmart, JPM, and CrowdStrike. All 3 of these names. Actually, I don't own Walmart, but I do own these other 2. So we definitely like that one over there. And then
only down 2. I was down 16% plus on CrowdStrike. Now we're only down 2.
Yeah, man. I mean, if I didn't have Marvell, this would be a complete disaster as well. Look, Neil's not even on here. Here's Neil right here. So again, we have Marvell up 99%. Unfortunately, his AVAV right on the other 2 just kind of hovering FCX and CRISPR Therapeutics, as we all have our picks. And then Adara, pretty level-headed picks as well. Boeing, 3%.
The Oracle short.
The Starbucks reports this week as well. That could be real nice. The Oracle shorts printing, and then where's the leader of the pack? Vroom, vroom.
Who is that?
Vroom, vroom. That's again something from the 50s or something. Leader of the pack. 88% on a name that none of us had heard of, even himself, when he made the pick there. But I even asked him, I was like, what is this? He's like, I don't know. I just like to break out. So there it is.
Oh my God, Obi, stop it. Man.
No, it's true.
I know how he
To be fair, we were allowed to make these picks on purely technical basis. 2 of my 3 picks were technical, and the one that wasn't was the short. So, I think shout out to him for.
I don't know if he's throwing shade. I'm not throwing any shade. I'm saying that you can again.
I'm not throwing any shade. I just know how the pick was found.
How was it found?
I'm not saying anything.
Why? What do you mean you're not saying?
I'm not saying anything. I just know. It doesn't mean what do I.
Well, if you don't.
Exactly. I couldn't be more thorough on how the pick was found. I know.
Okay. I will do digging into this. I will find out by the afternoon show how whatever BW was chosen. All right, and what is there controversy behind this?
Yeah, there's major
controversy.
I should be in fourth. Randy came in multiple months in after.
Oh, no. But Obi.
I was going to say, why do you keep saying you would be in fourth? The fact is you are not in fourth.
Ouch.
And that's the truth.
Okay, well, I can come in 2 months either and pick a stock that's up 20%, and then I'd be sitting in that exact spot.
Ouch.
So that's why.
Okay. We're all good over here. We will make some more picks, Joe. We'll all make them at the same time.
We got to do it quarterly.
Yeah. You want to do one right now?
Yeah, why not?
You want to battle me?
Want to do a week right now? Like by the week ending, the best performer?
Okay, so we could get that set up for 2 p.m.
Yeah.
The only problem is, remember, earnings.
Why don't we do it now? Yeah, that's great. That's even better, right?
Do you want to pick a name that's earnings?
Okay, do you want to do 2 picks right now?
We can.
Yeah, just for fun. We'll see which ones performs better. 2 of the Mag 7 that are reporting.
Oh, you got to pick a Mag 1, but each pick a Mag 7?
Okay, it doesn't matter. So whatever. From this week, we'll do 2 picks, you and I. Okay.
When, right now?
Yeah, right now. Right off the spot. Who do you got?
Okay. Let's go to Adara. I'm going to think about a name, because if I'm going to, take a risk here, you got to think of something. Okay, let's go back over to Adara.
Middle East headlines here, guys. Getting comments from the foreign minister of Iran, Ergachi, saying that President Trump is asking for talks since the U.S. has not met its goals. However, Iran is apparently considering the request. That's apparently coming from Telegram. So if I get more details here, I will let you know. But again, apparently in a Telegram message, we've got comments from the foreign minister of Iran saying President Trump requesting negotiations. The U.S. has not achieved any of its objectives. But either way, sounds like they're going to be considering this request. So really back and forth messaging here, but either way, sounds like there could be some kind of request at the very least being considered from Iran to reopen negotiations with the U.S. Back to you.
I mean, the only thing we should be really betting on is like what the quality of the lunch is going to be like on Friday, because apparently we're supposed to be getting burgers maybe I
didn't put it in though.
On Friday. I thought you put in the request.
Well, I didn't get everybody's order.
Okay,
so we can still set it up.
We'll get that all figured out. Yeah. No, there's no tension between Joe and I. Joe's just upset about this BW pick, which is not even my pick. All right, I'm going to put an end to it. I'll take SanDisk. So I'll take SNDK with them reporting later on this week. So I'm going to take it right now at 1,000. Here, is this price okay for you, Joe? $1,039. Okay, $39.50. So I'll take SNDK as one of the picks, and I'm going to take Meta.
And we're just going largest percentage gain, right?
Yeah, I mean, how?
Yeah.
They can't be dollar amounts.
Okay, cool.
SanDisk is still a $1,000 name. So I think Meta scares the shorts a little bit with their report. I'm going to go with Meta and SanDisk for the 2 plays of the week.
Okay.
So, you turned the gun on me pretty quickly.
Yeah. So
what do you think?
Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with
long. Both my picks are long.
Yeah. Both of mine are going to be long. We're going to go with Amazon as one of our picks there, as Bitcoin puts in a new high. And then also what I want to see is, let's see, I got to scroll down.
I almost chose Bitcoin.
We can, but it's not like they're reporting.
No.
I'm a weekly percentage gain.
It doesn't have to be such a reporting.
No, that's fair. So I'm going Bitcoin, and then, Amazon, and then let's head over to this. Come on, we can do it. We can pull it up here.
It seems like you made me pick immediately.
And Google.
But you...
There we go. Are you ready? Amazon and Google.
Okay, we'll see. I mean, look, I hope all 4 of those are hot fire.
I think we would love
they will be. To have a hot fire.
You know what's hot fire right now, though, my boy?
What's that? Our show?
Yeah, it's super hot fire there.
Oh, I should have took Bloom Energy.
Oh.
Don't tell Sharif. Don't tell Sharif.
Sharif, there he is. That's what made you think of it, eh? You just came right in.
I saw someone in the chat go Bloom, and I was like, and then and all of a sudden I say it, and Sharif appears.
Yeah.
That's like amazing.
So I got.
I like that. He blooms into the studio.
So you got SanDisk and.
What a call on Bloom Energy, by the way.
You got SanDisk and who again?
Meta.
Yeah, all right. I got Amazon and goggles. But what we also have right now, Sean,
yes,
is that Bitcoin now up 0.7%.
Yeah, that's a great
quarters as it continues to climb.
I don't have a Joe slapping face,
Yeah,
we'll just go like that for that. It was a great trade there on IBIT as we continue to run the gauntlet here today. And you're going to get Joe doing big time work one more time as Neil off today. Joe will be here for the midday show as well. We got to get back in the swing of things. We'll hit the gym up again. Throwing down some kettlebell stuff. I like to do the...
Ask Sharif about kettlebell.
I did, yeah. Sharif's giving me some advice. He's been doing some good. He's talked about the measured weight there and everything like that, and the weight distribution. He's been giving me some tips. Now, because I find like swimming is good and it's good for all that, but then that's more like cardio stuff. So I feel like if you build some muscle, it helps burn a little bit of fat there as well as the muscle gets going. But I don't need to tell you guys are well above my pay grade, both you and Sharif on that. Okay, look, it's 10:50. We'll come back for what is a healthy lunch, hopefully, there today as we focus on the salad aspect there on the What's for Lunch. But it's been an absolutely great show. I want to thank everybody for watching us. Make sure you do hit that like and subscribe. Shout out to everybody that's watching us live on TikTok, out on X. Joe and I both have accounts there. You can go find us there as well. As Adara at TTV Research. We want to thank Sia for the throw in there on Qualcomm, and she'll be back much more, obviously, throughout the midday and the rest of the day. But for now, back to the desk. It's Money Talks.
US dollar gapped up and then slammed lower. We are talking about an opening here at 99.3 for the DXY, low, which is basically where we're currently at, around 98.2. Now, I tried to look into why this was. I did see an article from the Wall Street Journal that came out about an hour ago, citing some comments from analysts at Morgan Stanley. They're saying that risks for the dollar look increasingly skewed towards a drop in the DXY. Again, this is according to currency analysts at Morgan Stanley, saying that foreign exchange markets seem to be becoming less sensitive to headlines with regards to energy supply disruptions with the war in mind, also saying that investors appear to be looking towards long-term themes. So again, Morgan Stanley analysts saying looks like there could be a decline in the USD going forward. Now, I do want to speak, speaking of going forward here, about that April 29th Fed meeting. As Sean mentioned, we're only a matter of 2 days and a handful of hours away from this meeting. Now, as of right now, 100% chance the Fed is going to hold rates steady. We know that in prior days and weeks, we'd had 99% chance, 98% chance. Yeah, it looks like 100% chance we're going to get rates held steady. If you go look forward here, we're now not seeing any kind of rate cut, according to the CME FedWatch tool, until December of 2027. Now, this has kind of been oscillating over the last couple of weeks. We've seen these rate cuts starting anywhere from September to December of 27. But as of right now, looking very hawkish for that DXY, or for rate cuts, rather. Back to you.
Yeah, Jesse.
Maybe
you need another espresso with 8 minutes to rock and roll here. Time flies. I was talking about the fact that Mondays are quick.
Yeah, time flies. I mean, I think we've had a great little show here, and the ending moment will be what's for lunch.
Oh.
So, I mean, we've had this flag numerous times.
Okay.
And it's just today's a different protein considered what this flag normally brings.
Okay.
And I have news for everybody. If you were paying attention to Friday's show, you will know that Neil switched over to this protein because of, I switched over from tilapia to said protein. Neil following suit as well. I think it's a good move. Today's flag is the Greek flag.
Ooh.
And of course, a very, very famous protein for Greeks. Catch me if I'm wrong on this one. Grilled and roasted salmon.
Dang.
I mean, when you go to the Taste of the Danforth, you can't wait to have that salmon soup and those salmon pitas.
Yeah.
I don't know, but anyways, love the Mediterranean food over here. Greek and grilled and roasted salmon, so we get a little choice of both. I don't know what that means exactly. With roasted seasoned vegetables, garlic bread, and garden salad. So not 100% sure why flag is Greek, especially when you have garden salad and garlic bread and all that kind of stuff, but it's good to go. Grilled and roasted salmon.
Okay.
Wait, how do you feel about salmon?
I had salmon over the weekend, and I had salmon twice last week. So we're going on like the fourth in the span of less than a week day of salmon. So
hit the wrong button.
Yeah, hey man.
No salmon. If you have salmon in fruit salad, I would say
that's iffy a little bit.
Maybe maybe hard pass on that one. So yeah, I'm not sure why it is grilled and roasted at the same time, and maybe take your pick on that one. So would you rather have a grilled piece of meat or roasted?
Grilled all day.
Grilled, I love the barbecue.
Fire, yeah, exactly. Anything over fire is goated.
I cannot believe I even asked you that. Okay, so there we go, man. We'll end the day with there's Meta. There's the pick, Joe. The fear Meta, baby.
Okay, hold on. Where's my?
Oh, we didn't even write them down. Oh no, we got to write down the prices. We got to write down the prices.
Write down the prices.
Of this. So, all right, SanDisk was something 39, 1039 for SNDK. I'll just use Meta right here, 681 for Meta. What are your prices at?
We can figure that out right now.
Yeah, just tell me.
Let's go.
Hold on. SNDK.
Let me pull it up.
We'll go to Adara and we'll figure out these prices so I don't get robbed at the end of the week.
Couple headlines here. We'll start with Tesla. TSLA pulling back a little bit here. We did get a post from the OpenAI newsroom account on the upcoming court case between Elon Musk and OpenAI saying, quote, "We can't wait to make our case in court where both the truth and the law are on our side. This lawsuit has always been a baseless and jealous bid to derail a competitor." We'll also finally have the chance to question Mr. Musk under oath before a jury of Californians about this attempt to undermine our work to ensure that artificial general intelligence benefits all of humanity. Basically, Elon Musk going after competing company OpenAI, at least in their opinion. We'll have to wait and see what the courts decide. Furthermore, we did have one Middle East headline. It's kind of like a lot of these, a recirculation of things we've already heard. But CNN reporting that Iran has officially proposed the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Now, what remains unclear right now is the status of these U.S. demands, so whether or not they're willing to meet these demands or what these demands are. But either way, sounds like there is some scenario under which Iran would be willing to reopen the strait. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Adara, for all of that news. So we've written down the prices. So it's SNDK and Meta versus Google and Amazon. So we'll have to write. We got the prices down. We'll talk about that on Friday coming through. We did talk about Bloom Energy. I mean, that was a name that has just been real awesome. I mean, breaking through that $100 market, now 240, crazy name there. Really bounced off of, I mean, here's the break of 100 there. We haven't seen it since, but then we did come back in and give us that little sort of resistance or support, I guess, of the 200 period moving average. And since then, it's been elevated to the top side. So again, another sort of energy play that's no longer undercover. This has been a big move higher there, Bloom Energy. And some of you that have really supported that name have done quite well with BE. So congratulations for that one for anybody on the Bloom Energy as it goes bloom in your account and blooming nice profitable petals into the account there as well. Intel downside a little bit today. Started off pretty hot, got up to that $87 mark, now down. I shouldn't say down today, up today, but down right now, bouncing off of your 200 period. That looks like it's setting up for a decent long as well, something to be worth played out. We did take some more out on the Qs as that went to the downside. My guy Marvell, we can check out, actually, whenever I talk about Marvell, we should also look at Broadcom a little bit. Marvell, I think, would be worse than Broadcom today. They canceled that deal with Poet, so that's not necessarily signaling strength in the name. There goes Broadcom down 2% as well. So Marvell double Broadcom today to the downside. Both these names real hot, man. I mean, from 300 up to 400 there for Broadcom. A little bit more of a steady name as Marvell, just a baby compared to a Broadcom, but we'll wait to see as both of those custom ASIC space there in Cadence. We did hear that deal with Poet fall through a little bit there today as well. So there, Poet losing the deal from Marvell. Canceling some of their purchases. So that's going to be a little bit of a look. And remember, this TQQ trade, we just got out some more just to wrap it up. We only have 2 minutes to go before we throw it back. I may not even, I mean, I'm going to try to get a little more there. We tried there and missed it. We were able to get some on the reload. We didn't get our full shot, but you know, just trying to see if we hold underneath this 200 period. Wouldn't mind trying to get a reload there and then a punch out above 50 clears us out of that trade. But other than that, man, this is what we're doing. So far, so good.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good one so far. I mean, Bitcoin takes us our 2 attempts to get this ball rolling here. So attempt number 1, we go long, but that dip I told you guys we were posted up at 44.06s, comes in, and unfortunately the momentum really started to pick up. So we get out at the crack of the low of the day. But as soon as we started to turn around, I waited for that trend line to break here to the downside because we have about 10 minutes of selling. And then sure enough, I re-engage here. We wait for that 1-to-1 before we take anything off. And then off to the races it goes. And we're fortunate enough to catch and break some off at the high of 44.35. Now it's starting to come back aggressively. If it cracks this low, then we get out break even by by any means, I don't have very much left, like 2.5%, maybe even a little bit less than that. So no issues in regards to a trailing stop. Will allow that to come into the break-even mark. 10:58, not very much time left. 2 minutes, and join me, surprise, surprise, Sharif and I over there during the midday, which will be obviously full of bangers as Sharif trades some of the small cap names. Poet on notice here today. I have Amazon, I have Google, Sean has SanDisk and Meta, so that's going to be an absolute slugfest. I'm going to be looking forward to that. And who is going to come out on top? It's just competitive nature, man. Same thing.
Yeah, man. No, I'm not even that competitive. I mean, you just wanted. I feel like you were you were very sensitive to that to some of those picks. So we'll go 1-to-1 and give you a chance.
On my picks.
No, I love your picks. I like JP Morgan, CrowdStrike, Walmart. Here's a halt right here. HTCO, High Trend International, right now up 150%. That name halting there at the high side, 28 and change. So we'll look to see if HTCO can get going there as that name goes higher. What was that? We had XE. So this was on Friday. We did have this IPO come through, and it wasn't that great. It did fail its IPO price, but then today, see you, Joe. Good show over there. Go get set up with Sharif. But yeah, that one came out at 30, and where's my 5-minute chart? Just got busted up there. But downside play there for HTCO, for XE on Friday as we break that IPO range and come back in, and then today we get some upside surprise there on this SMR name. So this should be a good one, XE. Look for some more volume to come into this name as the day goes on. I did lose one of my charts there. Yeah, I guess I got to open it up back up again. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. It's been 11 o'clock. We'll give Joe a couple seconds to settle out over there. Yeah, look, the reason why I picked SanDisk is just, I don't know, oops.